Okay, folks, we're live. And as you know, it always takes me a couple seconds to find my own Hangout. Hopefully the volume is working. I think it is. Hello, Daryl. How are you? You are my one person watching. What do you want to talk about? Hiya, Lisa, my wrench. How's the weather in Canada? I fling a peel something or other. What's up? JH, how's it going in the islands? How are you down there? We got Lisa up north. We got JH down below. We got Ryan right next to me. We got Glenn. It's good to see you, JH. Do you have power back? I hope you do. It's raining here too, Lisa. What's up, Alex? Loved your update today. Been doing a lot of those giant updates on your giant awesome tanks. What's up, Redneck Aquatics from San Antonio, Tejas? Ice Tea, how's it going? You got a new PC. So I've been thinking of using some AdSense revenue and saving it up and getting a Mac because I have this desktop. It's fairly new. It's only like 8 months old. It doesn't do anything special. I have a laptop, but it's like, it's got to be 6, 7 years old. And I have iPhones and all that jazz. So I'm thinking about getting a Mac. Maybe I can edit my videos a little bit better. Wait, let me rephrase that. Maybe I can start editing videos. So that's what I was hoping for. Yep, Alex, I am loving your updates and your tanks. So awesome. What's up, Salty? Storm Eagle 81. What's up, Sherry Rose? We got 35 people watching, and we've been on for like 2 minutes. That's awesome. I am super proud of myself. I got this live stream up in about 3.5 minutes. I just finished putting the kids to bed. I just finished my water change and cleaning up and organizing and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I got to get on. I have 2 special guests tonight that both said, well, one of them, I highly doubt he's coming on. It's about a 10% chance he's coming on. One of them said he would be on. I've asked him for his email because I forgot it. I haven't heard back from him, but hopefully he pops on. I'd be excited to grill him and do a Q&A. But as of now, it's, oh, yes, Daniel, it's opening day Red Sox. I was so happy. Just open it up to you guys, asking some questions. If anybody wants to come on, geez, I don't know. You can email me your email, or I can just open it up and have a few people on. I know JH would love to get on. Like to say your channel is awesome, man. You inspired me to get into saltwater, starting my first nano. That's awesome, Glenn. Super happy to hear that. You can do it. Thank you. Yes, I feel bad when I watch the Fish Fam news that you do such a good job, and I just literally do this. This is Mike from Mass Aquariums. Here I come. Video, video, video. Upload. I'm curious too, Lisa. I really hope one of them at least gets back to me soon. I know the other one, it all depended on how things went with the family and so on and so forth. But I got one of my boys hopefully coming on because I'm dying to ask him some questions. What's up, Slim Tim? Fired up, son. How's the Ram treating you? Robert is in the house. Hey, Jeff. Lemaster, how you doing? What do you know about dinoflagellates? I know I had them one time, and my goodness, I had to do a complete blackout on my tank for 7 days. Air stone in the tank, complete blackout, no food, no water changes, no nothing, and that did get rid of them. But I've seen horror stories on dino. What? The Red Sox lost today? Seriously? Tampa came back? Son of a bitch. I only listened till the 4th, so I don't know. Then I came home and it was dinner and all that fun stuff with the kiddos. Ryan, what LFS do I go to now? I don't go to any. The 2 next to me closed. The 1 in Auburn closed. You can go to Uncle Ned's in Millis, but I don't really need any of his freshwater fish. I know Tropical Isle in Framingham sells saltwater. I have absolutely no local fish stores that I've been going to lately. I ordered a few fish online that came in. I have my video. I'll launch it. I'll upload it tomorrow. I got some shots tonight, so I'll just upload it tomorrow after I edit. I press that button that says upload, and I'll be all good. What's up, JJ? Yeah, I'm having a good night. Had a good dinner. Made homemade steak and cheese, mushroom and onion, French fries. My wife went to work. The kids watched a movie, then they went to bed. My oldest don't have school tomorrow, so they're up in my room, and I'm here with you folks, chillaxing. 40 to 100 mile an hour for a second, son. Yeah, I know. Rams are kick ass. What's up, Fish Fool? Is the King coming on tonight? Nope. I already interviewed him. A live Q&A. I've interviewed the King, Dustin, my buddy Sean Peck from Peck Tech, and I just interviewed Rachel O'Leary, the OG fish pimp. That was probably my favorite interview so far. No offense, Sean or Joey or Dustin, but she hung on afterwards when everybody else went bye-bye, and we got a chance to talk. So that was really cool. We got a chance to hang out via the interweb for a while and shoot the shit, and that was awesome. She's been my favorite interview so far, for sure. I'm closer to Ocean State Aquatics. They just closed down, I think. What's up, Rob? Out of Cali. Jeff. I have not been to Tropical Isle yet. Glenn, I'm ready to add life to my nano tank. Blah, 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 5 weeks, no matter what. Would you suggest cleanup crew first or clown? I would suggest a pair of clownfish. No cleanup crew. There's nothing to clean up. And they'll just die and fight and die, and then you'll get ammonia and whatever. I know Rico mentioned one time he hates cleanup crews because eventually they just all die and cause problems. So I do agree with that to some extent. I've had about half my snail population die in my nano. In my 40, it's necessary. They thrive. There's enough room. There's enough shells. But small aquariums, forget it. Forget the cleanup crew, in my opinion. Justin, yeah, I've had Justin on. I talked to him on Facebook. He just had a baby a little while ago. She's home. He was on one night when I was me, him, and Michael were on. I would of course interview Justin fully. Break that thing in, Jay. Robert, I've been using Live Aquaria. That's really, I asked that question on a couple Facebook groups. What is in the specific question I asked was, besides Live Aquaria, where else does everybody get fish online? Because I'd love to know, because I always like to go to my LFS and just look at my fish, talk to the people there, talk to the kids, talk to the owners, and just have a good time for an hour. And now there's no place for me to go, so it sucks. I'm forced to order fish online where I can't even see them, and I just hope they come in healthy and not dead. And I hate paying for shipping for live fish. I think it's like $40. By the way, my aquarium box, free shipping. Don't forget, folks. Subscribe. Pleco babies, what the hell happened? I only use trocheus snails. Yep, I do like the trocheus. Yeah, I love assassin snails as well. Yes, Lisa, remind everybody. I would like to introduce Lisa, she's on Rico's live stream. She's on Michael's live stream. She's on all the live streams. I haven't actually got a chance to talk to her in depth a whole lot, but she seems like super nice, and she has been the first or second person to show up on every one of my live streams, and she wrenches everybody and she sticks around. So, you know, dilly dilly, and cheers to Lisa Aqua. Everybody go check her out, sub her. She's been great. I know she's from Canada, and I know she has kids. So I like Canada and I have kids. So we already have two things in common. Oh, Ocean State. No. Oh, I thought you might have been talking about Oceans of Pets. Ocean States. Is that the OSA who we had as a small business spotlight, I think? Yeah. OSA Aquatics. Yep. 40 minutes exactly. I've been talking to him on Facebook. I got to go down. He's got tons of frags he wants to show me. So yes, Ryan, that's the one for sure. Aquabid, I could try them. Dilly dilly, Manny. Aquabid, yep, Rachel. She's not shipping now. She's going to have surgery on her knee, so I don't believe she's shipping fish out. But she only sells freshwater fish. I am, once she's feeling better, I will contact her because I do want a big school of white cloud minnows in the tank behind me to go along with my other tetras. Or I might set up like a little tiny like fluval speck or something, like a 7.9 gallon. I'm dying to have like a tiny little self-contained tank in my bedroom that's way off in the corner. The new house, my bedroom's extremely giant now, so I can just like stick something way in the corner and it'll just be like, you know, a nice silhouette. You barely can even see it. It's just way off in the distance. Lots of plants and maybe like 5 or 6 white clouds, and that's it. Dilly dilly, Ryan. Is Glenn McClellan? Is that Guppy Glenn? Excuse me. I forget his channel. I used to watch Glenn on YouTube all the time, and he was just in Canada, guppy guy. All guppies. Tons and tons and tons of tiny little tanks. I loved watching them. She owes Susan an JH. You owe me an interview. You need to get me on an interview because you came over to my booth at Aquatic Experience several times and was like, I'm ready for an interview. You guys ready for an interview? You're like, yeah. And you're like, well, let's just wait till we'll do it here. We'll do that. Then I've seen like friggin' 20 interviews of the Aquatic Experience and you didn't get to interview us. So you need to interview me on this, on the Hangout machine, or I'll see you at the Aquatic Experience this October. Hey, AL. Toast 707, peace from the Bay Area. Thanks for Jimmy G. So I think you super chatted me on Rachel's thing. So thank you very much, Toast. And congratulations on your San Francisco pickup of Jimmy G. He has won 6 games, regular season versus absolutely shitty teams. But I do think he's going to be a good quarterback. Probably not Tom Brady worthy, but you're welcome for paying a backup quarterback 190 whatever $1 million you're paying him. I hope he takes you guys to the playoffs. Thank you, Toast, for that $2. And you get Jimmy Garoppolo for that $2. What's up, Sandro? How's it going in Montreal? Love Montreal. Been there. Yes, I want to do this interview, Jay. Hit me up anytime. I'm ready. I wish somebody would ask me a bunch of questions instead of me always asking everybody else the questions, but I'm having like such a good time with the Q&As, and we've had some like super, like friggin' the legendary of YouTube fish keepers have come on with the King and Rach and Dustin, and I got my boy Jeff B from Hawaii to come on the other day. There's a couple of people I have in the waiting that we're doing scheduled for April. A couple of YouTubers that you guys know, and I'm sure you'll enjoy. So we got those scheduled for April. I did have two scheduled for tonight. Well, one was a definite schedule. One was a we'll see what happens, but I could definitely pop on if everything goes smooth. So we'll see how smooth that goes. It's so important to do a 25% water change once a week, in my opinion. I think water changes are important in general. The time frame on water changes is here or there with freshwater, saltwater. What size is your tank? What is it stocked with? Fake plants, real plants? You know, it's such a long and drawn out topic, and really it's to each their own and how their people know their tanks run. This tank right here behind me, that looks absolutely amazing, especially now that I thinned it out, which I'm about to tear down pretty soon to just redo it. I do a water change like every 2 months, and it's a 40 breeder. I do 2.5 buckets, so probably like 12.5 gallons I take out every 2 months. And it's after you get your tank balanced out and things are running smoothly in a freshwater tank, they pretty much run themselves with good surface agitation and good oxygen exchange and low feeding. You're not like super overstocked. This thing's way over filtered, but they'll run good. And with saltwater, it's all about dialing it in. And you have these giant tanks with giant sumps and skimmers and reactors. You may never ever have to do a water change. I have to do water changes on my 40 breeder. I have to do 5 gallons every 10 to 14 days. And on my 13.5, I do roughly like 3 to 4 gallons once a week on the dot. That's the only way I can keep things the way they need to work. I could probably get away with a little more, but then I'm just asking for trouble, and then you get lazy, and then everything's ruined. So yeah, that's my answer to that question. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. I'm trying. I'm getting better at the interviews. It's tough sometimes when you're interacting with someone to like just stop them on what they're doing and ask them a question. So I try to get all my questions out on the table and try to fit them in where I feel they seem necessary. But I do love it. It's super funny, super fun, and I will get better too as well. What's up, dang tanks? From Virginia, going to be in Knoxville the next few days. Anyone know over any good? Message Peck Tech on one of his videos. He lives in Knoxville. I'm sure he can tell you all the stores over there. Rail plants, yeah, 25. I mean, I used to do 25% on my 75 gallon once a week. Now, that's a lot of buckets. What's up, Papa Reefer? Yep, consistency is the most important thing. Once you get your aquarium dialed in, just if it's working, you keep it that way. You keep doing the same things you're doing over and over. Don't say, well, for 1 year I've been doing water changes every 2 weeks and it's perfect. Now I'm just gonna go a month and not do it and see what happens. Like, just if it's working, just let it be. Do exactly what you're doing. Jeff, hey, ARD's in the house. He's been emailing me lately all these questions. What time is it? So 9:17. So it's like 2:17 for him, and he's up and talking about plants. I have a 75-gallon freshwater, full planted, low feeding, medium stock, DIY 5-gallon canister filter that flows 500 gallons per hour. And I do 24% changes once every 8 weeks. It's all, yep, that sounds great. Oh, you like the shirt, Papa Reefer? Yeah. This shirt is, I'm 38 and I got it when I was 16. Jesus. So it's at 18 years? No, 20 years? 22 years? Yeah. Whatever. I'm not doing math right now. Simple math. I can't even focus right now. But yeah, that's all I used to wear in high school. I went to high school. I was a freshman in 1994. So this is what I did in high school. Wore Grateful Dead t-shirts and hacky sacked in the hallway and had parties in the woods with bonfires and thought I was cool because we missed the 70s and 80s and then started listening to 90s music and 90s rap and alternative. So from like 1990 to, let's say, 90 to 2000, that was my genre of everything. Yes, hit that thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. I got to try to get a hold of my special guest. See what he's doing. If anybody would like to jump on and hang out, if you have any questions, I can always put the link down below if my special guest doesn't come on. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Freshwater or saltwater. What's coming up for the Mass Aquariums channel? What's coming up for the summer? For outdoor stuff, indoor stuff, what's going on with my aquarium box, whatever you guys want to talk about. Oh, my ears are open and I'm ready to answer. Could you use ferts with yo-yo loaches? I do not have a lot of experience with yo-yo loaches. I did have one dojo loach. It was albino, maybe like 4 or 6 inches. One of the coolest fish I had. When I broke down my 75 before I moved and got rid of that tank, I actually had no freshwater tanks at that moment. So I gave it to my dad to put in his 20-gallon that he's been had running for like 50 years and never did a water change. It has about an inch of water in it, and the hang on back just barely reaches. It's like a giant waterfall. And then he had it for a while. But no, yo-yo loaches, I don't have any clue about. I know they like colder water. Yeah, Southern Blue, Southern Rock. I'm all about all that. Chris, what's up? I'd love good ideas for my new planted aquarium, 65-gallon, 24 inches deep. I want to grow lots of plants. Grow lots of plants then. Figure out, do some research. I have plenty of videos. A lot of planted tank guys have plenty of videos. What you need to do is figure out what you want for your background plants, and those are like more plants that grow taller, like your jungle val, your bacopa. Also, there's all sorts of needle plants. There's tons of plants that grow real tall that you have to cut on top to keep them where they are. And then you want your your mid-ground plants, like what's good? Dwarf sedge, blixa, Arnubius, Java fern, things you can tie down in all sorts of places and control. And then you want your foreground plants, like your carpeting plants, or you just want a big jungle. Or you know what I did with my 75 is I just went and planted things everywhere, like Amazon swords, jungle val, Madagascar lace, crypts, whatever you can think of, I planted in there. And then once it all started growing good, I just transplanted it in places that I wanted to, propagated, trimmed, and it was just like a jungle. And I love that tank. There was no like thought to it at all. It was just jungle, angels and rainbows and things flying around everywhere, constant greens and reds from lilies, and oh, beautiful. I love that tank. I actually wish it was just still running, because I love that tank. I loved it. What's up, Angelo? Have a 55-gallon with bacteria bloom for about 1 week. How long? Anytime now. Add some filter floss, and that should help polish the water. What's up, Bubba? I know Bubba's been asking for a wrench forever. Glad you stopped by. If I remembered how to actually give somebody a wrench, and I knew you were going to stick around, I'd wrench you all day. How much would a 3-foot LED cost in US? We get robbed over here. I don't know. 3-foot. This marine land that I'm running here, I think is 36 inches. So yeah, I think that's 3 feet. It retails for, I think, $279.99. So like, let's call it anywhere between $200 and $300 American dollars. I would say. But I think you can get LED strips for a little bit cheaper. But this one runs cool. It's got a built-in timer, built-in clock. So I love it. And it was sponsored by Marineland, so. But I do love it. Either way. Ali says he's had a fish that disappeared. Yeah, I have always had fish that completely disappear. And then you don't find them or see them for months. And then all of a sudden you find a crisper chip like that because he falls out of the tank. Then he flip flop, flip flop, flip flop, flip flop, flip flop, flip flop, flip flop for as much life as he has in him until he's 6, 8, 10, who knows how far away he gets from the tank, wedges himself somewhere, and then he dies. And then you never even see him for till like whatever. I lost my beautiful big Bosemani. It was like my most giant Bosemani. Jump tank. I knew he jumped because he wasn't in the tank, and I didn't find him. So I was like, Maggie, my chocolate lab. Oh, Maggie probably ate him. And then when we moved, like 2 years later, and I was moving everything out, and the tank was out, and I was moving shit, there he was, right back there. Big Bosemani chip. I actually drilled a hole. Well, I did with a nail. I banged a nail through his head, and I put fishing line around him like a necklace, and I brought him into my buddy at work because he loved Bosemani. So I was like, hey, made a necklace for you. Here you go, buddy. What happens to your tanks if you lose power? If it's cold, like where I live most of the time, I have moving blankets, those big, thick moving blankets, and I drop a battery-powered air stone in the tank and wrap the tank with the moving blanket and hope for the best. I don't have backup batteries. I have a generator that runs my refrigerators to keep the food and the beer safe. No, the food safe, especially if it's going to be a long time. It always seems like when you go grocery shopping, then right after that is when the power goes out, when you have like $400 worth of groceries. But yeah, drop a battery-powered air stone. You get them at Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's, Walmart probably, any like your bait and tackle stores. Battery-operated air pump, airline, air stone. Drop it in the tank. It'll create some oxygen in there. Wrap it with big moving blankets or like polystyrofoam. Whatever you can to wrap that tank. Just leave like a tiny little corner open so it's not like suffocating everything. And then hope for the best. Cross your fingers. Or go buy a big generator. If that's what needs to happen. What's that? How many Danios can I keep in a 10-gallon? Don't even buy Danios. They get bigger than you think, and they're super aggressive, and they do need a lot of room. I would get something really small, like maybe even like some neons, not cardinals, because cardinals can get pretty big too, but some neon tetras or maybe like 6 rasboras. 10 gallons are super difficult to get any type of like freshwater fish that doesn't grow big. You can shrimp it up, and then there are super small fish that don't get, like I like the white cloud minnow. I mean, they can get, like an inch, but it's going to take forever. So I like white cloud minnows too. Any difficulty growing jungle val with dwarf sedge due to elelopathic? I don't even know what that means. So pass on that. Sorry. Hare Krishna, what's up? What's the best way to control mosquito population in a pond roughly the size of a football field? Bass? Perch? Pickerel? I don't think you have a chance unless you have like a whole ecosystem. Clown loaches that disappear, thought they had jumped the tunnel, blah, blah. Yep. Yes, you did get that, because we think about what you need, guys. That's why we put them in the My Aquarium box, because you might get a box and you might be like, ooh, I like that. And you're like, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. And then something happens and you're like rummaging through your My Aquarium boxes and you're grabbing all the stuff you didn't need because you need it. Because we put things in the box that we've used, or know we will need, or know you guys will need. That's what we do. That's what Greg does. Yep, largemouth bass. Boom. What is in a My Aquarium box? Tools, gadgets, foods, fertilizers, stuff that you would never even thought would be there that you're like, wow, I actually do need this. It's Aquatic Christmas every month, folks. Go subscribe to My Aquarium Box. www.myaquariumbox.com. I pack and ship, along with Greg, all your boxes every month. That's a lot of hard work, especially for Greg. Not so much for me. Greg does all the hard work. So you guys can receive Aquatic Christmas every month for free shipping to your door. Oh, we have one of the guests. He passed. He's gonna pass live. So I'm gonna tell you guys to bust his chops. IFG was all about the live Q&A tonight, and he's like, "I'm coming on. What time? What do I have to do?" And he's bailing. So just want to tell all his fans that wanted to see me interview IFG, because we talk all the time, and I really wanted to interview him, and now I can't. So IFG, you can EAD. I love you, brother. Enjoy the fish tacos. Anyone know the maximum amount of fish I can keep in a 20 gallon? Just schools, small tetras, maybe a school of like 6, Cory cats. But other than that, small tank, maybe a pair like some rams, golden rams. If you are able to keep German blue rams, which I hate, I can't ever keep them. I've tried 1 trillion times. I can't do it. Try those. I rummaged through my boxes yesterday and found exactly what I needed. My aquarium box is a lifesaver for our fish keepers. Sandy Morris. Thank you so much, Sandy. Sandy is my wife's friend who subscribes and loves fish and is all coming on the live streams lately. So glad she likes the My Aquarium box, because Sandy, I love packing it for you. So that's good. 1 inch of fish per gallon. Well, I would never go with that, because if you have a 7.5 gallon, that means you can have 7.5 inches of fish. So 1 7.5 inch fish would not work. I would not go with the inch per gallon rule. I have a video actually that the inch per gallon rule is bogus. So do not even go by that. Filtration. Small tanks, tiny fish, good filtration. Big tanks, big fish, also good filtration. Do you need something? Of course, the kids are up. Is there a reason that you're down here? iPad. Gotta have the iPad. Yes, do not agree with that rule. If you're asking me how my planted tank is going, it's going absolutely fine. It's running even more amazing since I trimmed a whole bunch of crap out. Yep, filtration, water changes. JH has tiny tanks with a consistent drip, and Greg uses a lot of water. Yeah, Greg Jones has a RODI drip system set up for all of his tanks, and as the water evaporates, the drip system refills it, and he's like always doing constant water changes. But I know his water bill is huge. I think you need to agree. We need to see you setting up a reef tank step by step, like, so I can use it as a guide, because the other vids are long and I skim too much. Well, sorry. I got plenty of videos of me setting up reef tanks, and you'll just have to go watch them. I have a video of me setting up a 10-gallon, setting up a 40-gallon, setting up a 13.5 gallon. So yeah, go watch those videos, Harry. Yeah, stock that pond with things that eat mosquitoes, frogs, bigger bugs, bass, perch, pickerel, sunfish. I do not know much about hard water. 1976, Dilly Dilly. What light do you recommend for a 20-gallon long saltwater aquarium? I love my Zoomed LED on my 10. I had that. That was only $39 on Dr. Foster's and Smith. I do like the Kessel A80 Tuna Blue that I'm running on my 13.5, but you'd probably need 2 of them on a 20 long. I don't know that 1 would be enough. If I'm telling you that you need to buy a light and you're on a budget, I would go with the Mars Aqua. Excuse me. I believe it's $79.99 or $89.99. And I've been running it on my 40 breeder for over 3 years now, and it's done the job. And a 20 long I think that would be perfect. So I'm saying Mars Aqua, do it. Why am I shouting? Oh, sorry. Didn't know I was talking so loud. I'll quiet down a bit. Very sorry. When I get excited, I'm talking fish. I just start talking loud. I get so excited. Yeah, maybe. Thank you, Joyce. You're welcome, Bathtub Fart Machine. I do love that name. He's been on. I've seen him on live streams. That just name is hilarious. Mars Aqua, yeah, $89, $79.89. What light are you running, Lisa, on your tanks? Let everybody in the chat know. What's up, Duratikit Reef? Slim Tim, what happened to the large tank in the garage? I'll tell you what happened. Nothing. It's still in the garage. I've been so busy. I have 4 kids, and we have a ton of shit to do at all the time. And at the end of the night lately, I'm just like ready to chill with my wife. I got my Aquarium Box boxes to build. I got water changes. I got Huckleberry Finley. And I would not do that tank justice if I didn't feel inspired to set up the tank. So when I get inspired to set up a tank, I get the idea in my head, I write things down, I know I have this plan that I want to do, and I get super excited about it, and then I just tackle it, and I love every minute of it. But if I'm not into it and I force it, it's not fun for me. And everybody knows the whole part of aquariums is like setting them up. What am I going to buy? What am I going to run for filtration? What am I going to use for media? What am I going to put in for plants, for corals? How am I going to scape it? Am I going to use this rock or that rock? If I'm going to use this driftwood, what light am I going to, like, that's the whole fun of the fish tank. And then stocking it, and then basically you're done. Then you have to start taking care of the tank. So I just haven't felt the passion to set that tank up yet. But don't worry, I will. It is a sponsored tank. I do need to set it up, and I do have a few ideas. It's just not rock solid yet. And I still haven't made up my mind if I'm going native New England tank or a saltwater fowler tank with some really cool fish. Like Joey just did some, like a snowflake eel and a lionfish. Like if I was going to skip the corals and just do a really beautiful scape with some exotic saltwater fish, the dwarf lionfish was definitely on my list. Something that eats things, like you have to feed it something. Yeah, so that's my long ass answers for that. Slim, there's your answer, buddy. I'm beginning to think the dollar per gallon sale. Yeah, the dollar per gallon sale is going on right now. Lisa's got 5 freshwater tanks, 1 that's planted. Where is Huckfin? Huckleberry is resting somewhere in the house because he's been hyper as can be. Thanks, Andy. I'm not sure Sarah would agree with you, but I do love this shirt. Yes, Daniel, you will never get sleep. Ever. Yeah, Ryan's got a snowflake. His is cool. Go for it, Angelo. You can do it. Super fun. Harry, what's with the long ass things that I have to read? Come on. You must be young enough to do emoji cons. I'm just kidding, buddy. Yes, I saw Joey's Instagram thing. I didn't watch the video, but I saw he got shark eggs. That's pretty cool. Sharks are badass. No matter what. If you have a shark at your house, it's pretty friggin' awesome, in my opinion. Yeah, driftwood can help. Cielo from Idaho. What's up, Mateo? How are you? IFG is showing me pictures of his fish tacos. I don't care, IFG. You can EAD with your fish tacos. My boy Shizdank just messaged me. Wish I could get him on. I doubt he would ever come on, though. I don't think I've ever seen his face on YouTube. Reef God, thank you very much for that $5 super chat. Big up yourself. Love your streams. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Reef God. I do appreciate that $5 very much. What's up, Kevin? How are you? How do you mount? I hung my Mars Aqua from the ceiling because my tank's in the basement, so I can just right to the joists. Thanks again, Reef God. I do appreciate that. That is awesome. Anybody who drops a super chat, you don't have to drop it to get noticed. I am trying to read all the questions. Lisa's here with the wrench, and she likes to answer questions too, so she can answer them if I don't get to them. I do appreciate that super chat. That is amazing. Any super chat is amazing except for CJ's $1.99 super chats from his percentage of poker winnings. But I do appreciate that as well. No, thank you. I hate feet. I don't run protein skimmers. So, Glenn, I don't know what would be the best protein skimmer. Do you have a sump? Are you looking for a hang-on back? I can recommend a few from videos I've watched, but from personal experience, I do not run skimmers, so I do not know what would be the best one. I have no experience at all. Yes, Storm Eagle 81. Thank you, Lisa. That's your first warning. Lisa, we have 2 strikes. So 1 warning, next warning, zip them out of here. Besides with so ARD, fluorescent or LEDs, I have yet to seen my tanks affected by either or as far as algae goes. I have not seen any difference. How often do you feed goldfish? Well, I feed all my fish once a day, a very small amount. Overfeeding fish is the biggest problems with people's tanks. They don't realize it. They always want to talk about their light and their water changes and what's in their filter and their cleanup crew. But one of the biggest polluters of a tank is to overfeed the tank. That is what could be your problem. Never mind the lights. You don't want your lights on all day long. You want to keep them at like 6 to 8 hours in a freshwater tank, in my opinion. But overfeeding your fish tank is going to screw you every time. Would prefer in some skimmer. Oh, is any of the saltwater people in this chat Really love their skimmers. And could you please drop one in the chat for Glenn? Yes, Greg. What's up, my boy? Greg Jones is in the house. My dorky brother from a dorky other mother. Yeah, Cobra Kai will reign supreme via Greg and Lisa. Thank you, folks. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Lisa. How do I feel about an undergravel filter? I think that's old school. I've never run one. If anybody has ran one, feel free to chirp about that. I feel like it's, if you have an undergravel filter and your tank is all set up nice, then to clean it or to get at it, you'd have to disrupt a bunch of stuff. So anything that you don't, the least disrupting you have to do, the better, in my opinion. I love hang-on back filters. I'm assuming that a sump would be very similar to that. It's right there. You can get at everything. You don't have to disturb your tank to do anything filter-wise. So I don't think I'd like an undergravel filter. Blackwater biotope sounds awesome. Be mixing some tan sand and some gravel. Look natural. Be okay with easy plants and root tab. Yep, all day. I'm a big fan of root tabs. If you can feed the roots of the plants, then you're good to go. And that literally, folks, is with about probably 95% of the plants on Earth. Water, not water. They have roots for a reason. And you need to feed those roots, and then the plant grows. Root tabs, good nutrient-rich soil. If you're going to dirt a tank or a pot or whatever you're growing, nutrient-rich soil, introduce it slowly. If you have a pot for a plant or a tank, if you just pack in the nutrients with small plants, it will poison them and they won't thrive. So if you're planting outside or inside a tank, introduce nutrients slowly to growing plants so that you don't kill them. I'm going to do a video on that. Yes, Sharkbait Rudy, can you get a shout out? Shout out to you. Octopus is a great skimmer. Yep, you can try that one. That's okay, Matt. I didn't see the game, but there's 162 of them, and I'm sure we'll be in the playoffs and probably get busted out in the first round. Reef glass skimmer for a nano. I've been seeing those on Facebook a lot. Yep, monster cichlids are good. Yes, Adam, you can make DIY CO2. It is messy and a pain in the ass. Lumpy Dog is in the house. CChem title is the king of HOB. I have yet to run that. I've been over this, but I do stand by firmly the Aqua Clear hang-on back filters. I love them. I love the big giant box that they are with no slots to get things stuck. You can put whatever you want in that thing and in whatever order. And that's what I love about the filter, and its durability, and it's pretty much silent. I love Aqua Clear filters. 100%. Yes, they are a sponsor. They have sponsored, Fluval has sponsored canister filters for me. They're a big part of my aquarium box, but I have kept Aqua Clear hang-on back filters for long before I even needed them or asked for them to be a sponsor or whatever. So AC all the way. Where's the best online place to buy freshwater beginner plants like in your videos? I can't find all of them at my LFS. You can go to visit Justin at h2oplants.com. You can visit hanaquatics.com, plantadaquariumcentral.com. Those are 3 places I have got plants from, and they have all been extremely well. extremely good looking, and they've all thrived. So those are 3 places you can definitely get plants. I mean, maybe I will check it out. I haven't really ever tried it because I love the aqua clears. Harry did like aqua clears at one time. Let's see. Nope, 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 and nope. All right, both. Aquarium Co-op has really good plants. I've never bought his plants. I like to go to stores that have a wide variety of plants as opposed to always out of stock. Because if you want something, that's when you want it. Slim Tim loves the Aqua Clear. Yeah, Adam, I ran an Aqua Clear 50 on my 10-gallon reef tank for over 3 years. I run an Aqua Clear 70 on my reef 40-gallon reef tank for over 3 years. Same filter. Just amazing. You rarely need to pull it off and do like a complete clean, but just reaching in and pulling out all your shit and taking the intake off, pulling the impeller out, give everything a clean, put it back in. It's so quick. It's so simple. It's idiot proof basically, and it always works. I've never had one to fail. So I love the Aqua Clears. Full show. When do I clean up the substrate? I thought blah blah blah. Hang on the back to help clean it up. In a couple of hours, it was crystal. Okay. Yeah. That's all about what you're running in your tank as well. Like a filter just doesn't clear up water, folks. In case you're wondering, a filter is mechanical. It sucks water through a pump and then forces it back out an outtake. It's what's in your filter that takes care of the water. So there's 3 types of filtration: mechanical, your biological, and your chemical. Your mechanical is the filter. It's the motor that sucks water in and forces water out. Then you have your chemical filtration, like your carbon that strips, your bad shit out of your water. Your sponges and stuff filters the debris and detritus and all that out of your water. And then now I've lost track. Too much. Mechanical, chemical, and your biological media is your ceramic discs, your bio balls, all the things that are porous that your beneficial bacteria stick to filter out the ammonia and all that stuff in your tank. So in my opinion, a filter needs to run. It needs to have a strong motor that lasts long and space to put everything else in. So if you can get that, and doesn't have these crazy slots where you're limited to what you can actually put inside the filter, then you're good. Basically, an empty box with a strong motor. And people could probably DIY those like crazy. All right, I'm way behind on the chat. Let's scroll down a little here. John Hunsberger says, I heard carbon was to remove stink. So, hey, Unlucky Eddie, what's up, brother? My brother from across the U.S. I've never had stink in any of my aquariums. And I have never always run carbon in my aquariums. I think if you go to someone's fish room that has a ton of fish tanks, it's very difficult with all that humidity and everything going on. But for instance, if you go to Greg's basement, he's got a giant turtle pond. Like I think it's 300 gallons or more. All these tanks, and it does not smell like a 1985 aquarium that you went, local fish store that you went to when you were a kid. It's just there's no smell. There's no smell. in any of my tanks. So I think just good maintenance and cleaning the substrate, good filtration, not just neglecting it, then there should never be any stink. Like you can lift the lid on my tank and sniff, and all you smell is nothing, just water. Nothing, like there's nothing to it. So if your tanks stink, then there's something wrong. What's up, Hammer Time? Slim Tim likes Chemi Pure, and so do I. Kevin, Mike, is it true that running HOB filter at its lowest flow is best? No, my ACs are turned up all the way. It just depends on what's underneath that flow. I like full flow all the time. And I set my filters up where I want them in the tank, and I purposely don't put things next to them that don't need all that flow. For example, in this tank, I have my outtake way away from the plants over here because I don't want my plants blowing all over the place. Yep. Adam, poly filter pads rock. Oh, yes, the Bruins are on fire. I think that puts them in first place. The Bruins are killing it right now. And I think Marchand is suspended for 10 games, but Bruins are killing it. You're welcome, John. All your tanks smell like dirt, Mark. Something you need to fix there. Get the dirt out. Food trapped under the lid. I mean, it's a whole mess of things. I'll check for food. Stink builds up after refill. All right, so let's just talk real quick. So this seems to be like a little topic going on in the chat about stinky fish tanks. Cheers. If you have a stinky fish tank, you're not taking care of your fish tank. When you start off a fish tank, let's just talk about freshwater fish tanks. You need to rinse your substrate. So if you have sand, if you have pea gravel, whatever. Thank you, Joyce. Joyce came on for the Lemons for Leukemia challenge. Thank you, Joyce, for that super chat. I really do appreciate that. You need to rinse your substrate. Then you put your substrate in, whether it's inert or it's dirt, and you're capping it with gravel, and you're putting fertilizers in. And then let's say you plant plants, and you're putting some rock in there, so you rinse off your rock. If you're putting driftwood in, you're going to boil your driftwood. You're going to clean your tank before you put any of that in with just some water, and then you fill your tank up, and now you're running your filtration. Now, let's call it a canister filter, and you have sponges, coarse sponges, followed by a fine sponge, followed by your media, a whole bunch of baskets full of ceramic media, biohome, bioballs, whatever you're running for biological filtration. And that's it. And your filtration will be running powerful. It'll be filtering the water. And as long as you're not overfeeding your fish, tiny little bit of fish food once a day is fine. They're not going to die. If you have big tanks where the fish need to eat live food or whatever, don't dump more live fish that they're not going to eat, or that you're just going to die in the tank and start polluting the tank because you won't see them. If your plants are rotting away, remove them from the tank. If you have a whole string of plants that are starting to produce runners all along your tank, but the mothers on the back are starting to die off and there's lots of brown leaves, get that out of your tank. If you don't think that you just let all this plant material rot and that'll feed the next group of plants. Like if it's just floating in the water and hanging on by a thread and rotting everywhere, that's not all that good for your water, in my opinion. Now, I'm not a biologist or a scientist or an expert fish keeper. This is just what I've learned throughout the years and how to keep clean tanks. And clean tanks are not that difficult to keep. If your tank isn't clean and it stinks and the water is gross and cloudy, go back and follow some of those steps and figure out what you're doing that's causing this problem. because it's not that difficult. And I don't mean to sound, angry about it. I'm just, if your tank seems to be having a problem, then there is certainly ways to check off a few of your things on the list to figure out what is the problem. Adam says he hardly feeds his planted tank and he's struggling with brown algae. Yep, brown algae, diatoms, they come and they go. I had a lot of diatoms on my Anubias, and when I trimmed back all the Blixa and got rid of, thinned out my planted tank and created some more movement in there. Now, I know there's more reasons for diatoms, but one of my biggest things is you got to have flow. You've got to have flow in your aquarium. You can't have dead spots. You can't have plants piling on each other and not moving. That's where your problems lie. So I always start with food. Are you feeding too much? Next, do you have the proper flow in your aquarium? Are your plants getting out of control where they need to be thinned back? And then that's where I go from there. And you can always get autos to eat the brown algae, or you can rub it off with your finger or a toothbrush, but clean your filter out, every 6 to 8 months. I don't think you need to go crazy with the canister filter and clean it out once a month. I think every 6 to 8 months is just fine. Especially if your intake from your filter is not right above dirt, everything's flowing, and you can tell from your outtake. If that thing is blasting, you're good to go. If you can tell the flow just isn't what it used to be, time to rinse out your sponges and clean your filter. Yeah. So Lisa's rescued a tank. She cleaned it out. I'm sure it's doing good now. Have I ever had a tank crash? I had one this morning. Any advice? I've never had a tank crash, thank goodness. I've had a tank where all my plants melted completely. That was my fault. I put in a high dose of Excel that I shouldn't have, and all my plants just died. But I've never just randomly had a tank crash for any particular reason. I did witness my father-in-law he had a tank set up. I think it was a 36-gallon bow front, and everything was good. The water was clear. Everything was great. And then my nephew Jordan dropped a bunch of chocolate chip cookies in it, and nobody noticed. And then we went downstairs, and the whole tank was a a murky, chocolatey, chippy, gross mess, and it was done. There was no fixing it. Big water change. Fish didn't make it. Yes, catappa leaves I would leave in. Once they start to really break down, you can remove them. But they're really only used for fish. Shrimp tanks, as far as I know. Did I read the link about the poison coming from corals? I don't know what link, but corals do emit lots of palytoxin and all sorts of gross, nasty stuff. I don't ever go in my tank barehanded. I always have gloves on. If I remove corals from the tank, I try my best to make sure I'm wearing clear safety glasses. I've seen nasty, nasty pictures on Facebook fish groups of people that have got squirted in the eye, or they had a cut that it got into, and the infection that happened, and just gross, gross, gross. You have to be very careful with corals, and you don't want to, don't think that it's okay. Just always use gloves, and if you can put on safety glasses, always use safety glasses. Yeah, Huckleberry's right here. Now he's laying behind over here. Huck, you want to come on camera? Come here, Hucky. Come here. Up here. Huck, come on. Come on. Up, 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 up. Oh, the big boy. Oh, the good boy. Look over here. Over here. Over here. Oh, the good boy. Oh, the good boy. Yep. Hucky is my second Labrador. I had Maggie, Chocolate Lab, for 12 years. We had to put her down, 2 years ago now. We got Huck last June. No, he was born last June. We got him in August 2017. He's 9 months old. He's a charcoal lab, and he is very, very well behaved. Hyper, like a puppy, like an 80-pound puppy. But he knows all his commands. He was potty trained like in 2 weeks. Not potty trained, friggin' housebroken. We got the electric, the invisible fence. The guy came and trained him in like half a day, not even. Couple lessons done. He's a really good boy. Really good boy. Mike, I had a problem placing an order for food on MAB site today. Can I email Greg for help? Of course you can. Reef Spy. Jesus. How did you have a problem? Greg, please take care of our boy Reef Spy, who's been a long-time subscriber. He's had a problem. Just go email myaquariumbox@gmail.com and we'll get that taken care of. Greg wants to start. Yes. Well, Greg, Julie can just make those nice organic peanut butter treats that Huckleberry loves so much that he ate, I don't know, maybe a day after you gave them to us. Fish and chips, dang tanks. Oh, who just had a super chat here? I can't see who it is. Sandy, another super chat for Huckleberry's treats. Thank you so much. Thanks, Sandy. How's the Awaxawattles? Greg's Awaxawattles. Yeah, Respect. Greg will take care of you right away. Was there a problem with the website, or like was it out of email? Greg will take care of it. Have a lot of people liking the My Aquarium Box food lately. I feed my fish My Aquarium Box food only, and I did have a few people email our company email saying that they've been having problems, and then they bought My Aquarium Box fish food, and everything fish were eating. They had some finicky fish. They bought some fish food. Job done. Ryo Watanabe. First time on your live stream. I really love your planted tank vids. Thank you, Ryo. Rio. Yes, Greg hooked Sandy up with some axolotls that he's been breeding. Greg is literally probably the nicest guy on the planet. That might be like 2 people. Fish food 10 code wouldn't work and my account could not be found. What? All right, Greg. Go take care of Respy. He's been a long-time subscriber. And he's got a gorgeous saltwater reef tank. See, right here, Respy. He loves the MAB flake food. He needs more. I feed my tanks downstairs MAB marine flake and the spirulina. Up here, I feed the brine shrimp flake and the tropical fish food flake. And my fish love it. The tanks, a lot of fish food. Well, first of all, you're going to hear me say this a trillion times. Don't overfeed your fish, people. But a lot of fish food, I've had fish tanks forever, so I've seen it a million times. If it's not eaten, it sits there for like an hour or 2, and then you get this white fuzz on it. This fish food just gets demolished, and then if there's any leftover, it almost just melts in the tank and boom, sucked up by the filter. I never see those like flakes off in the corner of the tank that have like the big giant white fuzz on it. Really good fish food. And of course I'm going to promote it because it's my own company, mine and Greg's, but it works and I feed my fish it and it's awesome. So go to shop.myaquariumbox.com and get yourself some My Aquarium Box fish food. We have a ton of varieties for all size fishes, all types of tanks, saltwater, freshwater, turtle, pond, koi, goldfish, tropical fish, you name it. Greg has worked tirelessly creating all these fish foods, bagging them, labeling them, ingredients, the works. Go visit shop.myaquariumbox.com. I'm going to put it right here so you guys can go visit and get yourself some My Aquarium Box fish food that Greg spends every night bagging for all our customers. We are a two-man operation. Most of the time, we are a one-man operation. Thank you, Greg. Yes, Sandy, he is sweet and smart and big dorky. He's like a big dorky Shrek that you just want to like hug. Reef Spy, yeah. And if anybody doesn't know Reef Spy, please go to Reef Spy on YouTube. He has some great content and a absolutely gorgeous. He has multiple tanks, but gorgeous. I believe it's a 180-gallon reef tank. I think it's 180. Beautiful, beautiful reef tank. Sandy's lemons like the MAB fish food. Mateo likes it. Yeah, see, Sandy says she's not a hugger, but Greg is huggable. Yeah. He's like a big teddy bear. Just like he's so nice. Stop always coming to my house at 10 o'clock, dropping stuff off and trying to make me work when I just want to watch TV, Greg. Kind of huggable. What's up, Josh? For rainbows and Congos, you can go with the tropical flake. I like the egg yolk. I like the beef heart. I like the earthworm. Honestly, the best thing about what Greg did for the My Aquarium Box food is he put together a wide variety. So for very inexpensive, you can get several types of food to give your fish a variety of diet. Like, do you want to eat like, well, I want to eat cheeseburgers every day, but like, let's just pick something weird. Like, do you want to eat just like plain chicken every day, all day? For your entire life? No. So I feed my fish, I rotate. Sometimes it's spirulina, and sometimes it's a protein, and then sometimes it's a tropical flake, then sometimes it's a mix. Like I go through 5 days, 5 different foods, and then I repeat. Because fish respond to a variety of diets of food. Now, if you have species only tanks and they don't eat, like for instance, high protein foods and they're more vegetarian, or you have fish tanks that are carnivorous and they don't eat like vegetables, like a more algae veggie diet. But if you have fish that eat a variety, this is perfect. Get 3 bags, get one of each kind, and you're good to go. And rotate them throughout your week. Yeah, I know, Greg. I'm not ready because you had all day today and you have all day tomorrow. Why are you coming tomorrow night after I've worked all day, cooked dinner, brought Nate to practice? My poor wife's working tonight. She's gonna get like 3 hours of sleep. By the time you get to my house, that is like relaxing time, not drag stuff in the basement time. But I love you, Greg. Greg Jones, folks. The Wizard of Oz behind my aquarium box. Unlucky is going to drill his tank soon. He looks like he's got parts coming in. Josh, don't switch to Northfin pellets. Switch to my aquarium box pellets. That's what I use. I got super tiny ones. I feed my clown. I just put one in at a time and it floats and he grabs it. Then I put another one, he grabs it. Then while he's paying attention, I throw some in the other corner for the shrimp to get at. Yes, Dank. Dank and Lumpy are busting my chops, but you know what? Dilly dilly. What do we got here? Almost 10:15. Not bad. Got 69 people watching. Hit that like, hit the share. We've already got 2 dislikes, which I always get on all my videos. It has to be the same 2 people that show up to dislike anything I do, which is fine. Because, you know, you can't please everybody. I'm just here. I'm just one guy trying to bring people together to talk. And my wife's working, so I have nothing to do, because if she was home, I'd be chilling with my beautiful wife, hanging out, watching TV, shooting the shit with her. But I'm here with you folks, and I'm glad you're here. Yes, Dank. Fug 'em. Sorry, ARD. I do not think Michael sells food on his website in the UK just yet. Reef Spy likes the small pellets. We must be out. Greg, get on that. Oh, Daniel must have tiny babies. I have 4 kids, Daniel, so I know that deal. Thanks, Paluri. I want to try to pronounce this. Paluri Anan Swarup. That's a fancy name. Like Rico says, thanks for coming and participating with the channel. Yes, everybody who's here is participating, and I love it. I'm super thrilled we have 67 people watching. That's like people could be watching a TV show right now. Well, maybe they are watching too. What's my #1 MAB flake? I love the brine shrimp flake and the earthworm. Love those two. One of mine too, Sandy. She's my soulmate. Yeah, 2 pinches. Maybe 3. Depends on how many fish you have, but do not overfeed. Less is best. Less is best. Yes, the 3 online sites. Go visit h2oplants.com, hanaquatics.com, and plantedaquariumscentral.com. Those are the 3 places I've always got plants, and I've never had bad experience. Yep, Greg likes the brine too, and the egg flake. Yeah, Josh, you don't need to do it like crazy, but it all depends, you know. Sometimes you have to get in there every other week. Sometimes you don't have to do it for every other month. Thanks, Mitch. Mike gonna hate me for this, but I just got done watching this year's. Oh yeah, well, I literally want to give you the finger. Oh, I just did. But yeah, you can't win them all, man. You cannot win every single Super Bowl. You know, we make it to the AFC Championship game every year. So if your football team does that, you know, good for you. And we win like 45% of the Super Bowls. So if you can do that too, then good for you as well. But you can't win them all. Can't win them all. Branch and flakes from our friends, good quality. I agree. Would like that. Yeah, I love them. Let's go Mets. Yeah, go Mets. They're not in the American League, so I can say go Mets. Slim Tim's watching The Simpsons, which is like a 30-year-old cartoon that I love. How many tanks do I have now? I have 3 tanks. I have this one behind me, and I have a 40 breeder saltwater reef and a 13.5 gallon saltwater reef. And I'm looking to get this giant tank set up in the garage eventually. I just need to get the inspiration. Yeah, Yankees are going to clean house. I would almost place a large bet that the Yankees will be in the World Series. Yes, muck the Fets. Mike, what are some good plants for brackish water? Do you have any experience with brackish? I do not, but I bet you mangroves would be really good for brackish water. Yeah, lumpy dog. But you do have Matt Patricia now as your head coach. You watch. Detroit's going to make the playoffs this year. With that quarterback, like, they're not horrible. They're just in a division with other good teams. Anything that you put in your tank, just be careful. Wash it, boil it. If you have to do a vinegar test, you drop some vinegar on there, and if it fizzes up like crazy, don't put that in your tank. If you're going to put some stuff from the beach in your reef tank, just be careful. Really, really soak it in RODI water really good. You are welcome, Leslie. I appreciate that. JH, yes, says mangroves, bacopa, java fern can be conditioned too for brackish. Maybe you got to like drip acclimate it. JH, you got your computer all set up? Should come on here and interview me. Oh, now we've got a baseball jam going on here. Ryan wants to know about the legality of piranhas. I know they're legal in Rhode Island, right down the street from me. I know they are illegal in Massachusetts. Yeah, that would be a win. I mean, you got Stafford. He's I wouldn't say he's a top 5 quarterback, but he's a serviceable quarterback. That's, let's say top 10 in the league. It sucks Megatron retired on you, but, he's probably sick of getting his ass beat up for never making the playoffs. Everybody hit that like, hit that. I just hit my own thumbs up. It works. I just thumbsed up my own video. Hit the thumbs up, share the video, let's get some people in here. 10:20, I'm not going to be staying on super late tonight like some of these live streams that I don't even know how the people stay up for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on these live streams. Like Rico does at least minimum 6 to 8 hours live stream. Paul from Jesus, I can't even think of his name. Shit, I'm drawing a blank. His live streams run. He did like a 36-hour live stream. What the hell? Reefing, worldwide reefing community or something? Oh man, I can't believe I can't remember his name. Lisa, help me out. What's Paul's live stream that they did like 36 hours? Well, yeah, when Aquarium Co-op and Joel do those live streams, they have like hundreds of people watching. I mean, I'm super thrilled with the 69 people watching. Again with the 69er. But those guys have hundreds of people watching. It'd be tough to answer all the questions. That's cool, Keith. My angelfish used to spawn all the time. Good, Leslie. Blackbeard is a nightmare. I keep dropping this toothpick. Oh, I need my toothpicks, folks. I quit smoking 3 years ago. I haven't had a butt in 3 years. A cigarillo. And it's because of these things right here. Toothpicks. Bamboo toothpicks. Yes, Reef Community Worldwide. They had like a 36-hour live stream. They kept doing 8-hour like individuals. It was long. It was like a marathon. Josh has started to get some cyano. Circulation certainly helps. Cyano is in every tank, and it usually appears when your bioload is way too big, meaning you have too many fish, or you're overfeeding and your nutrient import to the tank is greater than the tank can export nutrients. Than from Tidal Gardens has a great video on import and export, but if you can also keep that in mind when you have aquariums, is what the nutrients you're putting into the tank, are you able to remove that and then some, I guess, because a lot of times you're putting too many nutrients in the tank and your filtration is not able to take it out of the tank, and that's when algae, cyano, all sorts of bad stuff starts to flourish in your tank. For example, overfeeding your fish. A good diet is the best way to keep color in your fish. My aquarium box, brine shrimp flakes have that. I forget what the compound is or chemical, but it really brings out the color in your fish. JH likes the smaller streams. Wow, that is a long ass time on Lucky Eddie. That was when I was smoking probably like 3 packs a day. Real Fish Talk dropped a plug to my aquarium box yesterday. Who's Real Fish Talk? Is that the new name of something that I'm missing? Sandy, fill me in. Was that what we were talking about with Sarah this afternoon? Aquarium Co-op did a long live stream. Yeah, I mean, I love the live stream because I love to interact with the fans and people I know, and like it's like a hangout. That's almost it's real time. I don't have to respond to comments or whatever. This is real time comments. But once it goes stale and there's not a lot of people watching, and it's just like people talking about like laundry and singing songs and just ridiculousness, then that's when it's time to cut it off. Plus, I mean, I got shit to do too, so I want to hang out for a while, but you don't want to do like 9 hours of nothing. There's one thing that really. Oh, I'll save that for another. I'll save it for another one. I would quarantine Joyce for probably 2 weeks to a month. 2 weeks minimum. A month should do it. I worthy for get my shit together and Rochester, sure. What is RFT? Oh, that's Corey and Joel. All right, yeah, that's what they call it. Yes, I have watched them. I super chatted Joel one night, 25 bones, because I thought he was doing a great job on this question. Joel's a good guy. I've met him in person at Aquatic Experience. I've spoken to him on Facebook. He will be doing a Q&A live with me. We're just going to schedule that out for April. Hopefully our schedules work out. He's on the West Coast. Yes, Aquarium Co-op and Joel. I didn't know that's what they called it, but if that's what they call it, it's cool. I always try to catch their live stream. They're doing a great job. I like the microphones, the cameras, how they're like right there. I really do like their live stream a lot. They do a great job. Corey and Joel, go check them out when they do live streams. And I'm not kissing ass. If I like to like sit there and watch it for a while, and it's not just like 2 minutes of like, oh my God, this sucks, then it's a good live stream. So I do love their live streams. Very good, very informative. They both know, a ton of stuff about fish. They clearly have been doing this for a long time, and they clearly know their shit. So if they do answer your question, I would pretty much bet on it that they know what they're talking about. Corey and Joel, great guys. Do you put in quarantine medicine? You can. I don't quarantine my fish, I'll be honest. I used to have a QT tank and it was just a pain. And I never bought fish often enough to make use of it. It is like if I did get velvet in my tank and it wiped out my tank and it had to go fallow for like a friggin' long ass time. But I mean, if you can get your fish from a reputable breeder or source, then you can roll the dice, basically. How do I keep German blue rams alive? I have no clue. When you find out, please let me know. I'll never keep German blue rams again. I've tried several times. The most I kept them alive was 6 months, and then randomly they died. Pest snails, get assassin snails. You can do snail traps. You can clip a piece of like romaine lettuce to your glass at night, and the next day the thing will be covered with snails. Pull it out, put another piece of romaine lettuce in the next night, and you'll slowly deliver the trash truck for snails. Unlucky Eddie tuned into a reef tank live stream that started off in tinfoil hat territory the other day. I'm assuming that means it went cray-cray. I don't know. Yeah, Reef Spy. Who was that, Eddie? That sucks, Joyce. Awesome, Dubrexy21. Yeah, I saw Joel's QT video. Dave was watching Big E's live stream the other day, and his Quest fell asleep. He was snoring super loud. I missed that. I will come subscribe to you, Dub, so I can watch some of your videos. I love people who share all their experiences and not just the good ones. What would I say is the hardest part of saltwater tank, and what do you do to help you with the tasks? Saltwater is really, it's just about patience. It's the same thing as freshwater. You take water out and you do your water change, but you're just putting salt water back in. I would say the biggest challenge is knowing what corals that you're able to keep together and how they're going to grow. With plants, you can get away with a lot. With corals, like I would say there are some easier corals, but some corals like low light, low flow, some like low light, medium flow, low light, high flow, high light, high flow, medium light, and et cetera, and they go in different parts of the tank and they need certain things, and the more corals you have, the more nutrients you need for them to feed off of. And so the hardest part, in my opinion, is the learning curve of what corals you can keep that aren't going to sting each other, that can be next to each other. With plants, you can put any plant you want next to any other plant and nothing's going to happen. One might grow bigger and like shade out a plant, but corals, if you put one coral next to another, one will sting each other, it'll die. You just paid $30 for that frag, and so on and so forth. Saltwater is very expensive to buy life for the tank. It can be very inexpensive to set up something like that, but once you start dealing with putting corals in the tank, it can get very expensive to watch corals die and have to replace them. And if you can't figure it out, you get very frustrated and you give up after you've already spent a couple $1,000s. So just have patience, add corals slowly, read about them, watch videos about them. Watch multiple videos on multiple channels, take in everything you can from everybody's channel, and make your own educated decision on that. And just have patience. It's not, you can't, like a planted tank where you can set it up and plant it with full grown plants, and maybe they have a little bit of melt back, but like in a couple weeks, everything looks like it's been there for years. That will not happen in a saltwater tank. You have to have patience. Patience, and you have to do your research and really intake what people say on YouTube, what people say in magazines and on Google, and you have to, sift out the bullshit, but, take in what you see consistent and make an educated decision and watch your tank. Keep an eye out for your tank. Look at your tank every day. What's happening with the tank? What's going on over here? What's going on over there? Why is this happening? How can I fix it? Don't panic. Don't do too many things at once. Just be patient, be patient, be patient. Now I'm way behind on the chat. So you got guys get me rambling like crazy here. Still got over 60 people watching. That is awesome. Yep, you got to do it, Dub. Yes, Reef Spy, you go watch his channel. He has a gorgeous tank and he clearly knows exactly what he's doing. Rookie Reef is out here. What's up, buddy? I've actually never seen your face, so. Unlucky Eddie, I would say you don't need to do that. I've been running my tanks on inexpensive lights. If you get into the SPS game, I would say your lighting is one of your most important parts of your whole tank. Rico's live with Joey. Awesome. Rico's always live. See you, AJ. I think Rico can go live just about any second of any day. Which is tough. And that's why I do my live. I try to start my live streams at 9 because he usually does his live streams all day long. So I do mine at night. I know Reef Dudes, Devin does his at like 6-ish. Not that it matters. Like I said the other night, like if there's multiple live streams going, it's just like live TV. You have different channels to watch. You want to flip around, you want to jump from here or there, you want to watch it later on your DVR, like it doesn't matter. No, I haven't been on Rico's live streams lately. I've just been super busy. I went on vacation and then I got back from vacation. And like I said, Rico does his live streams during the day and I work all day. It's tough to do anything during the work hours because I'm always working. You know, I have a lot of stuff to do at my work. I usually try to hop on like on my lunch break or maybe like on my way home, but I just been way, way too busy. Right. Reef Spy says light can be very important in a reef tank, not so much for fish. Like fish really don't even need light. I mean, you usually put a light on so that you can see your fish. Yep, Joey always pops up in Rico's. They're good buddies. I missed Devin's stream last night about the bubble scrubbing. That was the one, right? I started watching it today on my way home from work. And by me, like I had my earplugs in and I was driving home and stuck in traffic and I was listening to it. It's currently 1:36 in the afternoon in Australia. What's up, Cruz? Hey, Cruz. I appreciate the 30 pack you bought me. I bought it literally the next day. Appreciate that extra 5 bones, buddy. I hope to see you at Aquatic Experience, and I won't be that guy in the background as Michael talks your ear off and Rico's gathering all his kids and everybody's doing everything, and I'm kind of sitting there in the background like, so we gonna go eat anytime soon? I need a beer and a steak, but you guys just keep talking and talking and kissing each other's ass, and can someone please take me to a steakhouse soon? I can't sit here forever while you guys fondle each other's balls all day. Come on, let's go eat, and then I'll buy you a beer. But for freshwater, there's only really Big E's channel. Well, I got to check this guy out. That's a stream that someone fell asleep in? Yeah, you could go with the Mars Aqua, Unlucky. I had great success with. I'm still having great success with it. It's 5:37 in the morning in Romania. What's up from Romania? That's awesome. Nicole, I have plenty of good beer. I just don't drink it when I want to drink a lot of beer. Yep, I hear you, Rookie Reefer. The guy with the octopus head was right, though. If you make a scientific claim, you need to back it with scientific evidence. Yeah, that does make sense. All right, Kevin, see you later. So right now we have Australia, Singapore, Romania, UK. Wow, that is really, really cool. Lots of countries watching. Ryan's off to bed. 4 o'clock comes early. Yep. That is early to get up. Good luck, Ryan. And we got scientific going on over there. Natural baggy leans out. Yes, Nicole, I do drink plenty of good beer. Bud Light's just cheap, but I do love lots. I love Magic Hat #9. That's one of my favorite beers. I love all sorts of beers. I could go on. Guinness is one of my faves. Jose, what's up? Everything's going good. Still got over 60 people watching. That's good. I'm sure everybody's over on Rico's now. Should I go on a rant about how nobody's allowed to do a live stream when I'm doing a live stream? No, I would never do that. That'd be YouTube suicide. Dilly dilly, Reef Spy. Huckleberry is driving me bonkers. Get out of here, Huck. Well, right now, before it's bedtime for everybody, I can share the link, and if anybody wants to come on and chitty chat for a few minutes, we can do that. Let's see. Then I go here, then I go there, then I hit that. I think that's how it goes. So anybody wants to come on, you can hit that link and come on in and talk for a few. Huck, come on. Huckleberry has the jaws of a great white shark. He destroys every toy we give him. Ropes, the works. Literally every toy we give him, he destroys. Unlucky's like, I gotta get a shirt on. Cruz wants to subscribe to my Aquarium Box. Go for it. Oh, that's the wrong Cruz. What's this? Did he change his picture? God damn it. Go for it, Cruz. Cruz Garza. Yes, Sandy. My Aquarium Box is awesome. We've got 3 dislikes now, which is pretty good. 3 out of 79. Not bad. He says his 10-month-old boxer is the same way. Yep. It's he's an 80-pound, 9-month-old charcoal lab who has endless amount of energy. He tweaked his ACL the other day. We thought he had Lyme's because he was like limping and he wasn't eating and he was just laying around. But my wife took him to the vet, did not have Lyme's. Doctor said he may have like tweaked his ACL. You need to keep him like very calm for a week, and gave him doggy Motrin, and we'll revisit it in a week. And if it's bad enough, we'll have to do surgery. And I'm like, screw that. I'm not paying for that surgery. He's going to be fine. Literally the next day, he's like jumping all over like crazy. His leg's fine. He stopped moping around the house. He's back to his old hyper 9-month-old self, driving me crazy. But he's such a good dog. I love him. I don't know who's hating on this, but, you know, it's okay. Anytime, Rookie Reefer. Come on in. Doesn't seem like anybody wants to come in. But that's okay. Yeah, Sandy, he did. He missed me. Now he's begging to go out. So I think, come on, Hunky Butts. I don't even know if that link worked. Usually, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. I did have, it looks like my other special guest definitely did not make it. We'll see him on another time. If I put juvenile guppies in with adults, when they start getting white spot, or do they get fungus or bacteria? It could be ick. I don't think it has to do with age, but it could be ick. Oh, look at Unlucky Eddie and his giant woodsman beard with all his fancy 1920s guns. What's up,
the
buddy?
top one, there's 1873, actually.
1873. Can you believe that, folks? Unlucky Eddie in the house. We have yet to see any one of his fish tanks. We've only seen giant beards, guns, and squirrels.
I've got one tank. It's sitting off over here. It's on the floor right now. There's no stand under it. So I'm in the process of getting everything together.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Glad to have you on. Trying to not look at the other playback here. Robert's out. Dilly Robert. Can you hear me? Unlucky?
I can hear you.
What do you want to talk about?
Well,
got any questions? You gonna show your tank?
I've always got questions. I just don't know what to ask. What do I hunt? Let's see. I mainly hunt rabbit. I haven't had a deer tag in a long time.
Oh, yep. Greg wants to know what you hunt. Rabbit. No deer. Adam is in here.
Yo.
Is this Adam from the UK? Who's this? Please introduce yourself, Adam.
I am not from the UK.
Are you a pit bull?
No, I am not. That is my dog.
I had a pit bull, Roxy, for 14 years. She was a great dog. So I don't hate on pit bulls.
Yeah, he's a Staffordshire Terrier. He could probably be, I could go on about him. I love him to death. Good looking doggy right there. Does he have Happy Tail? He did have Happy Tail one time in his life, actually.
My pit had Happy Tail, and my whole house from about 2 feet down was all like little
bloody
blood speckles.
Yeah,
everywhere.
I actually worked at a rescue, so I saw a lot of pit bulls with Happy Tail, and it's a violent scene, to say the least.
It's so weird because they're like so happy, but then they just like friggin' spray blood everywhere, like constantly.
Yeah, he's a good boy though.
How about you, Eddie? Do you have Happy Tail? Because you don't look like you have Happy Tail.
I just got micro mutt.
Oh, look at that guy.
Yeah, he's a good dog.
What kind of aquariums you got, Adam?
Well, I'm still pretty new, but I got 3 tanks right now. One of which is just a quarantine tank for my saltwater tank, but I have 2 29-gallon tanks, 1 saltwater and 1 freshwater right now.
Awesome. You loving it?
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, it's definitely it's sort of like a love-hate relationship, especially when you're getting started out. But it's really, at the end of the day, I couldn't be happier with what I'm doing with my time. So
yeah, it can be a big love-hate relationship, but if you have a manageable amount of tanks, it's good.
Exactly. That's why, I mean, I kind of jumped into it. I just jumped right to 2. I didn't even have 1 for a little while. Like, I just went straight to saltwater, and then I actually set up my planted tank just because I had the tank for free and I was interested in doing it. So I figured I'd do both at the same time, which was, it had its, you know, it was work in the beginning, but once I got the tanks pretty much established, it's pretty much just maintenance now, water changes and feeding.
Yeah, it's pretty. Who's got their whoever's watching me, put the mute on. Eddie or Adam.
I think I got you muted.
Oh, Eddie just muted himself. That's what I like. I always mute myself on a live stream till I'm ready to like interrupt somebody. Yeah, I had a ton of tanks at one point, and it became super annoying. I didn't even want to take care of any of them, because there was just way too many. So definitely keeping the MTS on check and keeping a manageable amount of tanks then you can certainly love the hobby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Are you gonna come on here, Jay, or what? Someone has their audio on. Mine's muted. Eddie, is your computer muted? Adam, your computer muted?
Let me mute mine.
Yeah, because you can hear us. You can just focus on the Hangout, because the actual stream with the talk is like a couple seconds behind anyway. Feel me?
Let's see here. I don't. Might be just my microphone. I don't know. Let's
No,
see
there's
if
no.
this does it.
I think you're good now. I don't hear any feedback.
Well, when I get my tank up and running, it'll be right behind me, and my guns are going to be coming down and going in the locker.
I want to see you put a GoPro on your head and go shoot a rabbit on this live stream one day.
Well, it's about an hour and a half drive out to where I go hunting. So
Oh, do you just snare them, or do you shoot them?
I shoot.
I want to do all that. I want to live in Alaska and just live off the land, but my wife wants to live in a tropical. We have Diego Riggin says, stop trying to get fans leeching off my homie live feed. I don't really know what that means, but I'm sorry, I guess. Glenn says, can I join with an iPhone? Yes, if you have Google Hangouts, you can join. I need to see one of Eddie's tanks. I feel like it's going to be an empty tank with substrate and a raccoon that's been stuffed like this, just staring at you. I only like the Buster's Cups because
I've got a picture of the tank with a dog in it.
Well, I think right now, since I'm going to go run and put Huckleberry out, it'll take me literally 10 seconds. I think Eddie should ask Adam a question. Like Eddie's interviewing Adam.
I like that
Eddie
idea.
has a giant beard. Adam has a pretty pit bull. Ask the question. Go.
Well, I'm interested in your gun collection there.
Okay, what do you want to know?
What do I see up there? Is that a repeater midway down?
Let's see. You've got 44 Magnum Milan in the middle.
Okay.
30-30 lever action. Top one is a 4570 Springfield.
Oh, all right.
The one hanging over there is a Lee Enfield that's been sporterized. And then I got my old compound bow.
Nice, nice. I'm liking it, man. I'm liking it.
And that's not even half my collection.
Yeah, I figured. You seem like that kind of guy.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a few. I only have a shotgun in my name and an AR, and my dad is huge into guns, and we're in New Jersey. It's like the worst state for it. We're trying to get out of here as fast as we can.
Go to New Hampshire. Avoid Mass.
What I missed?
Avoiding Mass for gun laws.
Yeah, I'd say avoid New Jersey as well.
Glenn is now here. We have a Mr. Glenn. Please introduce yourself.
Yep, just Glenn McClellan from West Virginia. I got a couple tanks. That's one of my freshwater planteds. Sorry, I'm on my iPhone. Never really done this before. I have a 30-gallon guppy. And I just started a 10-gallon nano saltwater.
Wow, look at that. Those all look really nice. What was that loud screech? Was that a child or a bird?
That was a chair.
Or a chair?
Yeah, this thing is really crappy, dude. Like, my little boy, I got a 3-year-old, and dude, he loves spinning in the thing. Like, loves it.
I know. I got a lazy boy with a swivel, and all my kids just like ride it like it's a friggin' toy.
Yeah, and I've had this one for quite a while, and they've done the same thing to this one. So,
well, nice to meet you. Do you have any questions for Eddie or Adam? I like to get these guys involved over here. Or do you have any questions in general?
I was asking Lisa earlier about clown loaches. I am having a horrible time keeping clown loaches.
I love the way clown loaches look. I will never keep them again because I've tried several times and they always get ick and they always die.
I've never noticed ick on them, but they've all died. And I mean, I've went through like probably 10 or 12. You know?
Wow.
Because I always buy like a group of 3 or 4 because I know they like groups, but cannot get them to live in the tank. Like,
clown loaches can get extremely big. I'm talking like 6, 8 inches. Huge.
This summer or next summer, I'm building, doing a DIY, 250-gallon freshwater and a 400-gallon saltwater.
400-gallon saltwater.
You're making me jealous there, buddy.
Well, it's like a 390. Like I said, I'm doing it all custom built out of acrylic that I'm ordering offline and everything. Dude, I didn't realize how expensive those acrylic sheets were going to be. Holy cow. Like, ooh.
Not just building the tank, but once you have to actually supply the equipment for the tank and make the water, like just making the water alone is going to be like
a week.
Oh my God. It's going to take forever.
Oh yeah. Like,
but with big tanks, you don't have to do a lot of water changes. Thank goodness.
Yeah, I've got my little 10-gallon, and at the moment I have the little RODI buddy there. That's like 50 gallons a day, you know. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to upgrade.
No, that's perfect.
I
had a 50-gallon per day for like almost 5 years, 4 years.
That's what I'm running. That's what I got right now.
Yeah, it does pretty good. I mean, plenty enough for my little nano tank, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, you only need like 2.5 gallons, like probably every week or 10 days to make water. So you make 5 gallons, make 10 gallons, and it'll last you like almost a month.
Yeah. Well, I keep actually, my old lady has a couple cats, so I use some tidy cat boxes and use those right now to store about 5 gallons of salt and 5 gallons of RODI just in case I happen to need it. You know?
Yep. Perfect. Any plastic bucket works great.
Yeah, they're working pretty good. My sump at the moment for my 10 gallons, the Jeff can see it. It is a gigantic Tupperware bowl, which would be right about there. Yeah.
Wow. Do you have
Hey,
videos on that?
Huh?
Do you have videos on that, Sump?
No,
Do you have a
I don't
YouTube
have
channel?
any.
That's impressive.
No, I don't really have any. It works pretty good. I have. I know you watched Joey's thing, and I did his thing on a weir to run the line from my tank down to the sump part, and then kind of did my own little sump thing. I actually have an AquaQueer hang on back filter that I use that I just run poly in just to polish the water with, and it works really well.
I would absolutely love to see a video on that Tupperware tub sump. I have never seen that before. That is awesome. That is badass right there. That is the DIY of the DIY.
I have another for that's my 75 gallon. I have a couple. They're kind of hiding back in there right now. I just cranked the light on them.
But, water looks super clear, super nice. I love big tanks with sponge filters and air stones that are just like crystal clear.
Yeah. Well, I made this would be it's kind of hard to see, but DIY 500 gallon per hour canister filter.
Oh, geez. Look at that.
Yeah.
Definitely a handyman right there.
Yeah.
You can be like the prince of DIY.
It works pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it works fairly well.
I want to see Eddie take a gun and shoot something right now. I need to see something shot.
Well, I don't want to wake my boy. He's
that's
asleep
true.
right now.
That's true. That's true.
I use like a little 22 or something. Something small.
I don't have a can for that.
Here's IFG decides to join the chat after he ate all his fish tacos and left me hanging. It looks like, I'm assuming, since there was 75 people watching 3 minutes ago, that they all went over to Rico's live stream.
Or they saw my ugly mug and ran.
No, nobody would run. They would just want to like take the bugs out of it, out of the beard, like monkey, just like eat everything out of there, braid it.
Oh Lord.
No, they're just jealous because they don't have it themselves.
I would absolutely love a giant beard. I have 4 kids, 1 daughter. My 4-year-old girl will not give me a kiss if my beard's not trimmed. And she is the princess and she rules. So that is what it is. So now I'm growing my hair out because I'm allowed to do that. But the beard's got to stay tight.
That's what mine, dude. She can't stand for me to have a mustache or anything. Like, she's okay with the little chin strap. No, mustache and all that.
My son's 5 years old. He grew up, with me having a beard. So he's got that.
So I got to tell you, Eddie sounds completely normal to me, but if I was everybody else, I would probably be super annoyed with our accents. How many people want to slap me and Eddie in the face?
I don't think you have that bad of an accent.
No, I don't even notice.
All right, good. Because when I hear Eddie, I'm like, oh my God, that's annoying. Do I sound like that? Yes, I do.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, who's this pretty lady?
You can call me Red.
Hey, Red.
Rochelle Red is on the live stream.
How are
And
you?
who else? I think I saw Alex come in. Alex is here. He's muted. Why don't you introduce yourself, Red?
Okay. Well, I guess the best way to introduce myself would be to show you my aquariums.
Yes,
And
aquariums is key.
If you want to just give me one moment, I will show you them downstairs. I'm in the dark. Hold on now. I live in Newfoundland, Canada. So that's a little island towards the right side of the map. and so we don't have a lot of fish stores here because we're so isolated. It costs a lot of money to get glass aquariums and such down this way because it has to come over on freight, which is, well, really expensive around here. So anyways, I'm here now.
Do you live in a mansion?
No.
I feel like you've been walking for 5 minutes.
I have been. I'm sorry. We are currently under a renovation, so please do not judge. Let me switch around the camera. Can I? Let's see. I should have had this already. Okay, so currently I just took a lot of plants out. I have a 135 planted aquarium. I can't back up anymore because I'm like right next to the wall. I have a 135 planted aquarium.
Wow, that's very pretty. That's big.
It's pretty much, I just let everything reproduce as much as it can, and I supply the only local fish store. Well, there's two, but I supply one, and I give away plants for free. I got about, let's see, another 150, maybe 300 Plecostomus babies in this tank. It's a 36 bow front. I just give away Plecostomus and guppies for free because they mate like crazy in this aquarium. So, and all the plants as well too. So, like this tall one here.
What kind of plecos are breeding? Are they bristlenose? Are they common? Yeah. Are they L's?
These, I'll show you these right here. These are the bristlenose. They were hatched about a week ago. And then I have only one male and one female. And they've created like 500, maybe 600 young over the last like 7-8 months.
That's awesome. I can never get anything to breed. Ever.
Let me see if I can back up. We're under renovation.
They breed and then they die. Alex, you're gonna have to wait. There's a beautiful girl showing fish tank, which never happens in our hobby because there's all a bunch of ugly, bearded, fat people like us. So
you guys are
all
so sweet.
of us minorities are gonna have to wait for her to show us, and then Alex is gonna show us his 9 million gallon aquarium.
Wow, cool. The only question I had concerning this was I have all these. Let me see if I can find one. Cherry
all
shrimp
those plants
in here.
look super healthy, by the way.
Thank you. I try really hard, but I just had to do like 2 90-gallon or 90% water changes because of the renovations. Dust got in the water. So, and then I forgot to turn the water off. So I got to redose.
Well, they look gorgeous, and tank looks super clear. Plants look green and red. And are you running CO2?
I am not. I have a lot of like red cherry shrimp in here, but their young is not coming up as potent or as dominant with their color. They're kind of spotty, clear through. But Dank's Tanks answered my question earlier. So thank you to him.
Dank Tanks?
Yeah.
Good, yeah. He was on here earlier. Like to see him. Try to keep up with the chat. Well, your tanks look amazing, Rochelle.
Thanks.
Is that your name, Rochelle?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's just basically a mess because I just like to give it away to other hobbyists who can't really afford to spend $10 on one plant.
That is very noble. I give all my plants, I pretty much give everything away. Everything I do, I pretty much give it away.
Yeah.
I'm too nice. Give all the plants, fish, everything I grow, aquarium or not, I give away.
That's great.
Well, I would love to see Alex. Oh, Alex, are you on, you have like your laptop, or do you have, can you show your tank?
You want to see it?
I want you to give us. I want you to give the walkthrough. If anybody doesn't know Alex, Alex G's aquarium, go to his channel and try to watch his video on his setup of the whole system. It's a time lapse of what he did to set up everything. And I've said this before on my live streams, and I'll continue to say it. It's literally like, it's amazing to watch. And I can't even imagine the money it costs, but just his whole system will let you, Alex, go for it. Do like a 2-minute thing, but everybody go to his channel, and when you come back, Alex, post your channel in the chat, and you gotta watch this setup.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for having me. So I have a little bit of algae right now, but this is the big display. This is 720 gallons, so it's 8 feet long, 4 feet front to back, 3 feet tall. So this is more for predatory saltwater fish and anything that's not so reef safe. There's a couple corals in here, but mostly it's just for the big fish like my hookers here. There's one of them there, and the other little guy is hanging out there. And next to it is my 480-gallon reef tank. So this one's 8 feet long, 4 feet front to back, and 2 feet tall. Let me see here. Probably make this view a little bit better.
Yeah, awful bluey.
There.
You need an Aquarium clip.
Yeah, that's what I got. Any better?
That's better. Way better.
So I have to take my case off, so a little bit of the screen's kind of followed up with the edge of it, but you guys can get the idea. So it's still a pretty new tank. It's only a few months old, so I don't have a ton of corals in here yet. I'm just starting to fill out a little on this side and just getting out of an algae bloom, but
and you'll need to win the lottery to fill the tank with corals.
Just gonna take it slow, like everything else with this build. This it will be 3 years in July that I've been working on this tank. All the tanks I built myself. These are all plywood tanks.
Wow.
And I'll show everybody real quick. It's kind of a
There
mess
you go,
back
Glenn.
here.
Glenn, get his email and take notes.
Here's my water.
Need the info on that. That's nice.
Here's my water storage. I got 200 gallons, and I keep a 200 gallon per day RODI system. Then we'll go back here. Apologize if there's any noise. Here's my protein skimmer.
Holy shit. What? Oh, excuse me.
That is amazing.
Wow.
That is huge.
That
Most
is
people
so nice.
can't understand how big the cup is until I put
God.
a 5 gallon bucket on it. So this is a DIY protein skimmer. I built this.
It does not look like it. I'm sorry.
I want a
It looks
video
real
on building.
good.
Do you have a video on building that skimmer?
That is amazing. My goodness.
So it's gravity fed for its main water flow, and then I got two J-bow pumps with DIY needle wheel impellers on it. So I literally just cleaned it out about 10 minutes ago, and it's already starting to foam up a little bit. So can't look in the corner because I got something that's coming in a video, but
Wow.
this is my 150 gallon refuge tank. So these are all my saltwater macroalgae. Trying to zoom in, let everybody see.
Yeah.
So
See, folks, this is what I'm talking about. How amazing it's like it's not real.
It's amazing. My mind is blown that this is apparently DIY. No way. This is so amazing.
This is kind of a mess, but this is where my heat exchanger is in this 120 gallon sump. And then here is my main return, which comes up and over, and then it goes to the tanks. So this is behind the tanks, front to back. There is a walking platform back here, so I can walk behind and get full access.
Is that all 1.5 PVC?
Yeah, the return's 1.5 inches, and then everything goes to one common drain, which is 3-inch.
Wow.
And then the 3-inch goes all the way along the back. And then just like a sink or a toilet, I got a giant U-trap in here. And then it pops out on this side.
Wow.
Absolutely amazing. And this, folks, is why I say, Alex, when you get back to the thing, please type in your YouTube channel so
Yeah, I'll
everybody can
subscribe
watch
right away.
the setup of
I'll
the whole
be
thing,
subscribing
because
to that.
it's literally like, that's some dedication right there.
Yeah.
I thought Glenn's sneaker tub, I call it a sneaker tub because I throw all the boys' leftover sneakers in it. His sump is amazing. I need to see that on video, but everybody needs to see your setup on video.
Yeah, it's and the sump tanks, the one the skimmer's in is 265 gallons. The refuge is a 150, and then there's a 120 with the heat exchanger in it because I do radiant heating, so I use my hot water heater to heat the aquarium.
Brilliant. That's so brilliant.
Oh, look, Glenn. Oh, no, Adam is not showing his dog, but he does have a planted tank behind him.
Yeah, you see that? There's my 29.
Not sure you can compete with what Alex just did, but I would love to see that tank behind you.
No,
Or are you on webcam?
I'm on webcam.
What do you got there for what's growing? Is that a lace or is that what is that? Jungle bell?
I have honestly, I think there's over 11 different plants growing in here, and I can't keep track of them all. I only know a few of them, to be honest with you.
That's all right. I don't know any of mine.
I think this is, oh man, nope, I don't remember it. I know I have some Starogene repens growing. I have a Anubias. What is it? Anubias java? I don't know if that's right. I have an El Nino fern.
El Nino fern.
Fern. Yeah.
Do you have a La Nina fern?
No, I don't.
That they'll mate?
No, I don't.
So either Red's house is really big or just one big long house.
I had to go from upstairs to down. I'm really sorry to interrupt. Continue. Sorry.
Like, it looks like you've been walking for 5-10 minutes.
I'm finally back to bed.
I would like to know if Eddie is slugging river water or moonshine. What's coming out of that jug, Eddie?
Distilled.
It's aquarium water. Oh, good for you.
What do you think?
What fish do you have in there?
It's got to be moonshine. He's in the sticks. Even if he was home, he'd be in the sticks.
Oh, I forgot to show you on my wife's tank, her little 30-gallon guppy tank that she has. I built a...
Hey, George, you're up early. Go ahead.
Overhead DIY filtration system. You can see it there with lava rock and everything. And then she can grow flowers like she's starting to on top of the tank.
Are those lily pads?
No,
That's
they're
creative.
actually orchids.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
What?
Look at that.
I can't even keep one in a pot alive. She's doing that from an aquarium? No way.
Well, it's on top in the overhead filter that I did or whatever. They're doing pretty well. She got some other kind of flower that she wanted to grow and for it to hang over the front of it. But yeah, it lasted about a week. No, not pothos. This was more of like a flower, not viney. Like, not for sure exactly what it was.
That's all right.
She gets random stuff. Like this plant, I have no clue what that is. Like, and she just gets random plants all the time.
It looks like romaine lettuce.
Yeah. Like, and it gets these big stalks, like, that grow up and across the tank. And
it could be like a broadleaf crinum.
Like, I have no clue what that is.
But it honestly looks like some sort of lettuce. It's
Yeah.
super broad.
And yeah, it grows, like, I've cut that back several times. Like, it grows humongous.
What kind of lighting you got on that? Is it LEDs?
The lighting on the 30-gallon, yeah, it's just El Cheapo LED that she got off eBay or something for, like, I don't know, $30 probably.
George Farmer just dropped a $10 euro, which is $150,000 American. So that sucks to be you, George. But thank you. I can now buy a couple bass boats and a better truck. Appreciate that, George.
Thank you.
I
Oh,
want
cool.
Glenn to create a YouTube channel, and I want him to call it the Aqua Tub King, because he has so many tubs that he has, and
I love the DIY part of it. Like, I watch Joey's channel all the time or whatever. You know, he doesn't do now a whole lot of DIY.
Oh,
He's,
that's
more
nice.
into doing his gallery and all that stuff. But I love all the DIY
That's really
aspect of it. You know, building my own sumps, my own tanks, my own filters.
you got to show it and share it, man. People love to see that stuff.
Yeah, I need to. I've thought about it, but to be honest with you, this is the first time I've ever actually done a video on YouTube, like, or been in a video or anything. Like,
Georgia's up super early. He's going to be on in April as soon as we can get our shit together. It is, what do we got? 11:20. So it's 4:20 where George lives. So he's up extremely early. 4:20. Let's hope he's going to rip one before he goes to work.
I have to say, I don't mean to interrupt, but Adam's tank is really clear. It's really nice and clear, especially when you go, the lengthwise view, like you just did a few minutes ago or a few seconds ago. It's really nice and clear. Good job.
Don't let the video fool you. It's honestly, it's got some brown algae on the glass or diatoms.
Well, that just means you probably have a lot of excess nutrients in the water column. That doesn't mean you got bad water quality. Not
I've been
necessarily.
struggling with it. I'm doing water changes once a week, and I'm hardly feeding my Danios. I only have 6.
Why don't you try cutting something like a stem plant and replanting it, so then it starts eating that excess nutrients in the water column or in the over your gravel, and just turning off your lights for, let's say if you have it on for 10 hours a day, try slowly reducing it to like maybe 9 or 8 just when you're home.
Lisa was mentioning that in the chat. I was gonna work on reducing my lighting. I got it too high right now.
Yeah.
I'm almost at like 12 hours a day light.
Oh wow, that's
and it's honestly just because not even purpose.
Looking at it.
It just happened, and I got to cut back on it.
Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story if anybody doesn't mind. My 71-year-old grandmother lives with me. Anyways, she loves to fish, but she is so ill now with her health. She can't go ice fishing or nothing, so she likes to fish baby guppies out of my big aquarium into my small one. Anyways, so she used to turn on my lights at 7 o'clock in the morning. I did not know about this until I'd get home, and it would be like 7 o'clock at night, and then I'd enjoy my tank for a little bit. So after a while, I got black-beard algae everywhere. And I was like, what's going on? I couldn't figure it out. I thought my lights were only on for 8 hours. They were actually on for 16 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like Nan didn't know any different. She's 71. She just turned it on because she wanted to see everything. But so don't worry. The whole lights thing and algae is not actually such an eyesore as what somebody might think. Your aquarium is not going to be perfect. It's an ecosystem. I
run 6 hours on every planted tank I've ever owned. 6 hours.
Yeah.
Never gone above.
That's what I run 8 hours on.
George says 8 hours. I would trust him. His tanks are absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, they are.
And he does show the bad and the good. So it's not just all good.
No.
All right, we got 11:23. I'm gonna call this at 11:30 because, yeah, I want to go to bed.
About ready to hit
It
the sack.
is
And
1
I'm not
o'clock
going to
here.
leave this on for 9 to 16 to 36 hours like some other live streams. Even though there are celebrities like George Farmer in the house and Lisa Aqua, the best wrench there is, and Justin from H2O Plants with his little tiny baby.
This was really fun.
Anytime you guys want to come on, you're more than welcome to once I open it up. I'm
Yep.
glad people came on last. What's today? Thursday? Shit. Yeah. Monday, after I interviewed, was it Monday? Jesus, I don't even fucking know anymore. Saturday, after I did that live stream, I opened it up and not one single person came on. I left it open for a half hour. So I'm so thrilled that all you guys came on.
I didn't
Awesome.
even know this was possible. This is my first time ever doing this or seeing it, actually.
Adam loves it so much he's on twice.
Wow.
Yes.
There's Justin.
There's Justin. What's up,
What up?
buddy?
What's going on?
I hope you didn't use all those baby wipes on your own butt.
No, only some of them.
How's that baby doing?
She's doing great. She's much better.
No, you're breaking up. You need to find your Wi-Fi hotspot.
Hold on, trying to. Sorry.
Come on, Eddie. Literally, his next door neighbor is 975 miles away, and he has a Wi-Fi.
Wow. Look at that tank.
I wish it was 975 miles away.
This is a
Wow.
but
Oh yeah, look at that. That nice Dutch scape right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love the carpeting, whatever that is. Love it.
it's actually like 4 different plants growing.
So, I've been meaning to ask you a question, Justin. When I can hear you clearly, can you hear me? Check, check, check.
Hear me.
I can hear you. I need you to speak for like 10 seconds so I know I can ask you this question.
So this is my awesome tank, and if you can hear me loud and clear, ask your question.
All right, perfect. So, Justin is the owner of H2O Plants. Go check him out and buy your plants from him. He has this thing on, I think it's Instagram when I look at it, right? Where you have these gorgeous tanks and you have these little blips, little dots that you can hit, and it shows you a blown up picture of what that plant is and how much it costs. I've never seen that before, and it's absolutely amazing. Please
is
talk
cool.
about that.
Yeah, it's a feature that you get, I believe, 10 followers on Instagram to be able to use it. But basically, connect to my Instagram to my Shopify, I can link those. Basically, it's one of those ways because oftentimes people will comment and, hey, what's that plant? And it's just easier if I can just tag it and be like, okay, well, that's that plant, and you could get it on my site. Oftentimes though, it's a lot of plants that are thirsty to keep them in stock. Really cool feature. I like it.
Well, I love that feature, and that makes me want to buy lots of plants from you. By the way, your crinum that you sent me is doing amazing. The dwarf lily has fallen off its bulb and is floating around my tank for a week now, still producing leaves, and the roots are getting longer. It's almost like it's a floating plant now.
Yeah, the lily will do great. What did I send you? The aquarium lily or the red tiger lotus?
I don't know. The leaves are so small. I can't tell if it's a tiger lotus or the dwarf lily.
Oh, okay. It's probably red tiger lotus in this tank, and you can see this lily is bigger than the goldfish. So, but they don't actually need the bulb to survive. And if it fell off the bulb, it'll produce more plants off the bulb too.
Oh no! It like fell off the bulb the first day, and then the bulb started to rot, and I pulled it, and I thought, it all died, and then I looked like a week later up into all my hellfire like floating in the circulation, and it was there with like 9 little leaves with like tons of roots just like flowing down from it. It's
Oh, wow.
it's like a floating lily now. It's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm not
they're great.
I'm not touching it. Just gonna leave it.
Yeah, no, they're great. I love them. I have one in this tank.
And the crinum looks amazing. That's doing awesome. All those little freebies you sent me, I'll be honest, I don't have a tank for them, and I couldn't give them away. So I gave 2 away, and the other 2 I threw in the trash. I'm super sorry.
Oh, damn. It's all right. I figured I'd just
Ooh, I
give
would
you a
not
couple cool
admit that.
things.
Well,
It's all right.
I'm literally an open book. Like
I know,
I
that's so
cannot
great.
lie.
I really appreciate that for someone who has such a massive followers, and you know, you do influence people into the hobby, so that's excellent.
Oh,
you
thank you
want to
very
see?
much.
You want to see a really cool plant that I did before that you may
Yeah,
like?
of course we do.
So you have that big hunk of Blixa, right?
I took the whole hunk out. I gave it to my boy.
Did
It's
you?
probably like
All right.
$200 worth of Blixa. Just here you go. Here's the chunk. Take it.
Yeah, this is a valve that is a similar Blixa, has a stem Cenarian, and it gets red tips.
You're super
So
breaking
we
up
just got this in.
on my end. I don't know if anybody else is experiencing it.
Yeah, he's breaking up a lot on my end.
It looks good though.
Jay,
from
you're
what I
super
can see.
breaking up. All I heard was Val, red tip. I didn't catch anything else.
Hold on.
Yeah, all I got was a bunch of gabble.
What'd you say, Eddie? Garbage?
Garbled speak.
Good night, Cruz. Thanks for stopping by. I'd like Lisa, again, to give a nice shout out to Lisa. She has been here the entire time, and I know she has kids because I heard her cooking for all her kids on an amazing live stream where all I heard was pots and pans. But she has been my wrench for all my live streams pretty much so far, and she's been doing great. So it's too bad you can't give her a super chat because that would be
She was really
sweet.
nice. Yeah, she was really helpful. Thank you, Lisa.
Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Now it's perfect.
Okay. So this is a valve that we just got in. Literally first time I'm ever seeing this. And it's similar to a Blixa as it has a stem. And all the leaves kind of grow up out of the stem like a Blixa does. But it has this red tint to the leaves. I don't know if you can see that all too well, but it's just super amazing. We literally just got it, and I'm like blown away by it. It's one of the most fascinating things I've ever seen.
I've never seen any Val that's not green, ever.
Oh, well, I actually have another type that gets red, but this being like a stem plant almost, but it's a Val. It's crazy.
So this is a good topic while you're here. As far as people that are freshwater goes, red plants. You can buy them red. You see them red. They get to your tank. They look red and beautiful, and then all of a sudden they start to turn green.
What happens with that?
Not
And
enough
what
light.
can you do to keep your plants that you bought that are red or pink or purple or that nice beautiful color and keep them that way?
It comes down to lighting 99% of the time. It
Yeah.
just doesn't have enough lighting.
So you're feeding the roots like all plants need. And
So this is actually a video.
CO2 is either there or here or there, but 99% of the time it's coming down to lighting, right?
Yeah, and this is actually a video that I'm going to be doing on a big misconception that a lot of not only other vendors but other YouTubers that are also vendors and pushing the fertilizer are like, hey, I sell fertilizer too, so I get it. It's a good profit margin, whatnot. You want people to buy it, but they make it sound like you can't grow plants without fertilizer. and that it's the ultimate factor of healthy plants when it really comes down to your light. Like if you don't have a good light, it's the equivalent of having a Ferrari and not having the engine in it, but having gasoline in the tank. So you don't have an engine when you don't have a good light.
Interesting. I do feel that way with a lot of stuff I grow. I'm not going to get into that on this stream, but I also agree with that for corals. A decent light is necessary.
Yeah.
As far as plants go, with the reds, now, are you talking about just reds, or are you talking about all plants in general?
I'm talking about
light is more important than nutrients, let's say.
Light is the most important thing, hands down, because, like I said, if you have a Ferrari, right, and you have a full tank of gas, if your Ferrari does not have an engine to make it go, it's not going to use that gasoline. So the gasoline in this case is the fertilizer, and the engine is the light. If you want the plants to grow, you need that engine to drive plant growth. If you look at any kind of house plants or any sort of outside plants that you may plant outside your house, they'll tell you only fertilize once every month or once every 3 months or whatever it is. That's because
right, you'll burn the plant out, whether it's aquatic or breathing CO2.
Yeah, you'll burn them out. So what it comes down to is if you have a really good light, they're going to uptake nutrients so much faster. But if you don't have a good enough light, all that nutrients is just going to sit there, and either it could do microtox, which could actually damage the plants because you'll have, say, too much of phosphates or too much of magnesium or something like that. And if it gets to a dangerous level, you could actually hurt your plants. So, I do dose nutrients, but a lot of times people will reference that your plants aren't doing well because you don't have nutrients. That's not the case. 9 times out of 10, it's because you don't have a good enough light.
Now, plants need light because they use the light to photosynthesize to produce sugars, which help the plant grow.
Right.
And that's why you need light. And everything else is just a bonus, right? Your CO2, your fertilizers, which I'm not saying you can go without, but that is so far like the steroids, like you say.
Yeah,
not you say,
it's like,
but like.
Yeah, it's like a catch-22. So like, you obviously want to have a really good light because plants are used to sunlight. If you don't have a good enough light, they're not going to be able to photosynthesize and make those sugars and all that. But here's the thing. If you have a good enough light and then you don't dose any nutrients and it becomes a barren land of no nutrients, then the plants can't photosynthesize because they need stuff like magnesium and sulfur and all these chemical compounds to turn light energy into sugar energy into stuff that they can use to grow. So if you don't have both, you're really not going to do well. But you could get by with like easy plants with a good enough light where you don't need to dose nutrients because your fish food, whatever you're feeding the fish, will make up for it.
Right. So I love this topic. This is one of my favorite topics. It's really, with YouTube nowadays, it's very, very difficult to, you're either saltwater or you're freshwater or you're African cichlids or you're monster, peacock basses. Like nobody's ever like all encompassed. They have saltwater, they have freshwater, they have ponds, they have planted, they have turtles, they have this. Super tough to find one of those channels, and everybody has a different opinion on what's needed for a planted tank. I would agree that light is number one important. If you're going to spend your money on anything, and this is both hobbies, spend money on your light. You can get away with cheaper shit, but if you're just going to buy something cheap and then a year is going to go by and you're going to have to buy something better because you realize it, then you might as well just buy it in the first place. And then your nutrients, especially with heavy feeding rooted plants, I would think would be second most important. And then CO2 is here or there. You can go without it. If you have it, it's the steroid. If not, it's just slow growth, really.
Yeah, CO2 is only needed for 2 reasons. One, you want to increase plant growth for whatever reason. You want to have a tank growing tremendously fast. Or you have very difficult to grow plants that really need it. So a lot of the plants in this tank do require CO2, but some don't and would get by just fine because I have a good enough light. And honestly, like to me, because of how many tanks I have now, running CO2, if I like, it's just a hassle because the plants grow so fast that I have to trim them almost every week or so. So it gets to be a problem if you have like super fast growing plants.
I have a question, if I may.
Sure.
So basically, when I was new into the hobby, actually, me and my girlfriend kind of started at the same time. Not my girlfriend, but a friend who was a girl. Anyways, basically, we thought that people added CO2 when they didn't have a heavily or an overstocked tank because we just automatically assumed, okay, the fish waste would basically act the same. Of course, this is before we really knew what we were doing. So if for me, I have my 135 superly overpopulated with Placostomus, bristlenose, and guppies, but I don't have CO2. Would I have any benefit to CO2? Everything's growing super fast. Is there a correlation with overstock and CO2? Is there a benefit to one or the other?
No, CO2 is essentially just to speed up growth of plants.
Okay.
And you really, I mean, if your tank is already good without CO2, you don't need it. And for instance, my little shrimp tank over here is a Fluval Flex tank.
I was noticing that earlier.
And this has no CO2 in it, and stuff is growing fantastically. Stuff is actually growing better in this tank because it is RO water versus any other tank. And that's completely no nutrients other than what's in the aqua soil. So there's aqua soil in here, obviously a good substrate, but it's RO water, and plants are growing way better in this tank than they grow in any of my other tanks.
Okay, neat. Thank you.
Does your house have a furnace?
Wait, two people were talking. What's that?
Go ahead.
Does your house have a furnace, Rochelle?
Yes, it's hot water radiation.
Okay. So it's radiant. You have a radiant hot water heater?
Yeah.
Okay. But do you have a furnace as well?
No, I don't know.
Because if you do, in the wintertime with a furnace, with your windows closed all the time, your CO2 levels are naturally going to be higher in your house. And I find that I struggle with pH issues because my CO2 is so high in my house. So I'm constantly leaving my window open to get fresh air in.
Oh, cool. So I think you might be right about us having a furnace because of the fact where it's not uncommon for when I'm cleaning every week and yada, yada, yada for everybody to just want to open all the windows. And I never would have thought it would have been because of CO2.
Mm-hmm.
Or, sorry. You know what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually experiencing a problem with, I have a wall mount heater that, just uses a flame to heat. And I can see when I run it, I can see the fluctuations in my saltwater tank pH due to the CO2. Cool. And it's small and just in my living room,
Yeah. I didn't mention earlier, my fiance has a saltwater tank just on the other side of the room. Now, I wouldn't dare touch it because it's all shut off and it's on timer, so I didn't really know how to do that quickly.
Definitely do not mess with that.
Yeah, not touching it. The only thing he gets me to do is feed the anemones by hand because he's not fucking with that. So that's what I do. But I noticed that when we had our saltwater tank on the other side of the room and versus what it was in the summertime, we're having to use I don't want to say like a buffer, but we're having to use like a chemical and we're having more work with the pH. Because of that now, I didn't think it could because of the wintertime and the furnace and such, but I think you might have hit something on the... I think you might have been right.
Yeah, I just constantly Googled why am I having a hard time keeping my pH consistent? And I found a thread, I think it was on a reef forum, and somebody was talking about if you have a furnace and it's the wintertime, it's because you have a lack of oxygen in your house, because that furnace, I guess, is somehow depleting the oxygen in your home. So they say open up a window.
I use outside air draw for my tank. Not in deep winter when it gets too cold, but I draw outside air straight into my protein skimmer to help raise pH.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
I did
Yeah,
on
between
my
the
saltwater tank. I was having that issue, and I have a small DIY skimmer that has an air pump that goes to a wooden air stone inside of it. And I set my air pump actually outside and ran the line through the house, and my pH stabilized real, fairly quick in my saltwater tank.
Wow. I'm gonna definitely mention this to him tomorrow morning. See, it's like one closer to 1:30 now in the morning here where I am. So that's also why I'm having these little brain farts here. I can't get my words.
In Canada?
Yeah, well, I'm in Newfoundland, Canada. So I'm a
so you're
half
on the
hour
tip.
ahead of the rest of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Justin, this is Justin's morning. His baby probably is just asleep. He's got like a quick 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm about to go upstairs actually, so I'm gonna say goodbye to all you guys. Good night.
Thanks for coming on, brother.
Thank you. I'll see you later.
Rochelle, do you have a YouTube channel?
Just the one called Friend Red. I just basically use it. I never ever made a video before.
Oh,
I don't
get
feel
on
like I
YouTube.
know enough to. I have too many questions and not enough answers to be able to just shout it out to the world, my thoughts. Does that make sense?
Just have to film your struggles and your day-to-day insecurities. And then people will watch, and pretty soon you have like 25,000 subscribers, and then you'll get some AdSense revenue.
Yeah.
I feel the same way
Like
you do.
Glenn's got to start friggin' putting his tubs, all his tub. People want to watch that shit, son.
Yeah, they really
Do it.
do. They really do.
I might
Yeah,
throw it up. I don't know. Like I said, I'm like her. I've never done a channel. I've never, done this as far as the video sharing and stuff.
We're newbies together.
I've never posted anything to get it's just, and I have so many questions about everything, so I don't think I have enough knowledge to really be telling other people what to do. You know what I mean?
Well, you don't tell other people what to do. You just
or giving advice,
shoot your experiences. Like
I do
Alex,
like what you said, Matt.
Alex does his.
Throwing out our comments or concerns and changes in our aquarium. We might actually learn a lot more by speaking out about our tanks.
Yeah, you don't have to shoot a video telling people what to do, but you can shoot a video sharing your experiences, and I think that's what people like to watch. I mean, Alex, you're over. What are you at? Like 1.5, 2,000 subscribers? And
it's like 1,150-ish, something like that.
yeah, and you're not like a fish keeping genius.
That's a lot. I
You
think
have
I've got
awesome things to show. That
I'm
people wanna
sorry,
see.
but he looks like he's a fish keeping genius. My goodness.
He is a sub-knowing genius. This guy knows where to
There you
get the
go.
best sub in Chicago.
More than just fish.
I mean, the big thing I'll just say on the DIY aspect of it too is that it's hard to find people that do DIY that are willing to share what they did, whether it works or it fails. You know, it's because that was the hardest thing for me building my plywood tanks. You know, I got the design more or less off of what Joey was doing with his videos, but it's hard to find some of that stuff because people, you got to really start digging into forums to try and find it, and that was one of the reasons I started sharing.
Yeah, I dug around a while before I found Joey's. I'd actually made the 5-gallon canister filter before I'd seen Joey's video and everything. And I would love to ask him how he seals the top of that thing. Because, man, when I first got it, I flooded my living room. Like, I had like 50 gallons of water in the floor. It was horrible. Like, it was pretty bad.
Put it all on camera.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
this has been really nice.
Thank you,
This has
Lisa.
been really nice.
I appreciate that, and I also wish you and your family a happy Easter as well. From the main Chicky Wrenchy, Captain Wrench, Lisa herself, wishing everybody a happy Easter.
Oh, she's so
Happy
sweet.
Easter, everybody.
Thanks, Lisa.
Happy Easter.
I think with that being said, since it's almost midnight, I'd like to say thank you for everybody for coming on and sharing. Alex and Rochelle and Glenn. Fishy Snowman did not get to speak, although his tank does look absolutely gorgeous back there.
Wow.
And
Thanks,
Adam for coming on.
No problem.
I'd like to especially thank Lisa for being the wrench from literally the second I started this live stream 3 hours ago till now.
Damn, I missed it all.
Fishy Snowman, you missed the entire thing.
I know.
Notifications.
That is some beautiful plants right there, though. Those are some healthy looking plants.
Yeah.
It's very simple. No CO2, no nothing. All pearlweed and God, I always mess this name up. God.
Nobody's going to make fun of you. Just keep trying.
No, it's Reneki, Rika Reneki. God, I can't even say it. I'm sorry.
There's no need to apologize. In most of my videos that I have grown that over the past like 10 years, I just call it the red plant.
Yeah. That's great.
It's awesome.
Because I can't pronounce that shit either. So don't even worry about it.
Dude,
Nor can I remember it, even if it's written down in front of me. But I'm stopping the broadcast, Fishy. You're way too late for the party.
You've tried a lot.
Next time, I hope you guys come on. Yes, thank you guys for coming on. Appreciate everybody sharing all their stuff, and I hope to see everybody next time.
Thanks for hosting, Mike.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Good
Everybody
channel,
have a
Mike.
good night.
Love you, man.
Get some rest and fish tanks and beer.
Good night.
Peace.
All right.
Dilly dilly.
Bye.